Colorado High School Activities Association football is on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com. Tonight from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. It's the Morgan County Clash between the visiting Brush Bead Diggers and the Fort Morgan Mustangs, along with Dave Urich. I'm John Beltran. This is the fourth consecutive season that the Bead Diggers are trying to knock off the Mustangs, as last year it was one of the better games that Brush and Fort Morgan have had, Dave. In fact, Fort Morgan led at the break. The game got started off with a bang with a long kickoff return by Nate Alexander. Together a second half, a very good second half, and won the game 31-19. Now, that's what happened last year. In terms of what happened last week with these teams, survived winning on the road against Berthoud, as Kemble came up with an interception with 31 seconds to go in the game. And as for Brush, they did what they had to do, Dave. They dominated Ray, winning 42-0, and quite frankly, they certainly didn't.
A lot of miscues in the game. They spread it around, and a lot of guys came up big with some big offensive plays.
And the Bead Diggers hope to build upon that. You know, interestingly enough, in this series, the former head coach Larry Mills has got a winning record against virtually every program against Fort Morgan, but Randy Dreitz is 8-5, and as I mentioned, including victories in the last 3 years. It's been a series of streaks. Back when Coach Dreitz took over in 2000, lost the first two. Brush won 5 in a row, 3 in a row. Now Brush has won 3 in a row. And, you know, the one thing with the Mustangs, Dave, they're just looking to put together another season where they can go to the playoffs. It's been since 2000. Some decent teams since then. They struggled in 2010 when they went winless. But then, of course, they picked it up last year with 7 victories. And I think the one thing that, especially out of this game, is to make sure Blastoff connected from what happened last. I know that you deal with teenagers, you come on.
You know, I think the job of getting these guys ready with that we have big win last week affect us. You know, Fort Morgan comes in against us, just like Ray. You know, these kids have played against the Fort Morgan kids since they were in 7th grade, and even before that. And some these kids like each other, but they don't like to lose to each other. To be on their best.
All right, Dave and I will come back right after this, and we will officially have the opening kickoff between Brush and Fort Morgan right after the break here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Legion Field in Fort Morgan as we're getting ready for the opening kickoff of this game between the Bead Diggers and the Mustangs. Opening kickoff is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call at 842-4555. Bead Diggers are dressed in their road whites with the maroon pants. They are coached by Randy Dreitz, assisted by Lance Schwint, Dick Creighton, Matt Menier, David Cummings, and Court Marquez. Harrison Chisholm in his 7th year, with the Mustangs dressed in the black uniforms and the white numerals, assisted by Greg Edson, Mike Gross, Josh Langford, Jeff Peterson, Rick Call, Aaron Strobel, Clint Anderson, Joe Ginther, Jim Kreckemeyer, Chris Cobley, Jake Schneider, Corey Knutson, and Chris Burkhardt. So certainly a hefty staff. Bead Diggers will receive the opening kickoff as they did last week. Brush didn't score on their first possession last week. It'll be Franny Gonzalez to kick it off for the Mustangs. Got a lot of wind here. A ton of wind now kicking up. Kyle Rosenbrock standing at about his own 7-yard line. And now it's just come and gone. It was a slight gust. Both teams trying to improve to 2-0 on the season. And Rosenbrock standing at his own 9-yard line. And you can follow us on Twitter, by the way, at KSIR Sports. Follow us on Twitter. Turn on mobile notifications. You'll get updates as they occur. There's the kickoff, and Gonzalez boots this one high and deep, and it's in the zone. I tell you, Dave, that's an impressive kick by Gonzalez. The Beat Diggers will have it. Here for the Beat Diggers tonight is brought to you by Blodorn Lumber at blodornlumber.com. You can browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online at 130 State Street in Fort Morgan. Kyle Rosenbrock is the starting quarterback. Randy Baker's in the backfield along with Alec Peterson and Mikey Gutierrez. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 20-yard line. Receiver split left and right. In motion to the left is Baker. Only one setback now. Rosenbrock will hand it up off the middle. And that ball looked like it was loose for a second, but not so. A short gain for Mikey Gutierrez. Only a gain of about 1. 2nd down and 9 to go. So yard brush, Fort Morgan Greeley.
Yeah, Brush tried to spread him out. Fort Morgan lined up in that five front defense, and we had our double tight formation there, so we were showing them some power, but we went ahead and spread them out and then tried to run that trap up the middle with our lone back, and it didn't fool the Mustangs. 2nd
down and 9 for Brush at their own 21-yard line. Rosenbrock this time is back to the throw, looking over the middle. The pass is incomplete, off the hands of the intended receiver at the 27-yard line, Kalen Brandt. He was open. The pass was a little bit tall. 3rd down and 9. Very good play call, Dave. He was there, but it wasn't executed by Brush.
Right. You know, it hit him in the hands. It was over the top of his head, but it definitely hit him in both his hands, and he probably should have come down with that one as he had his defender beat. The linebacker wasn't over there to cover him.
3rd down and 9 for Brush, just shy of their own 21-yard line in the opening minute of this game. Rosenbrock and the rest of the Beat Diggers up to the line of scrimmage. Maverick Seawald, one of the big offensive linemen, a senior, along with Joe Carwin, will introduce the others as Arribas is in motion to the left. Rosenbrock on a busted play will run to his right to the 25-yard line, and he's down across the 25 to the 26. Looked like somebody went in the wrong direction for Brush as Justin Pineda, the junior defensive back, made the play. A gain of 5, 4th and 4, and the Beat Diggers will have to punt.
Yep, tried to run that option over to the right side, but still, we just saw it. You know, Rosenbrock's going to be a factor in this game again, just like he was last week. You know, he has 1 touch. He has 6 yards already. He had a great run there.
Yeah, certainly did. Isaiah Lopez is one of the 2 Mustangs, along with Kyle Daniels to receive. Rosenbrock standing at his own 11, awaiting the snap. Perfect snap to Rosenbrock, a light rush. It's a low line drive punt. It'll be fielded by Lopez at the 40, running to his right to the 45, and then he's hit beautifully at the 45-yard line by Eddie Arribas. A return of only 5 yards, and the punt went for 34. And with 10:24 to go in the opening quarter, Fort Morgan has the football at their own 45-yard line. Very good field position for the Mustangs.
I'll tell you what, Eddie Arribas' tackle there might have been the best tackle I've seen from a Beat Digger in years. He had his head in front, hit him between his thigh pads and his knees, tackled him nice and low. He didn't attack him upstairs. You know, if he wouldn't have made that tackle, the kid could have broke that thing to the outside. What a great open field play.
Excellent. Wes Anderson's the receiver to the left. To the right, Eric Kimball. The quarterback is Joey Schneider under center. And the handoff to the up back, that is Toby McBride. Some hard yards across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. Alec Peterson in on the tackle along with Kyle Rosenbrock. It's a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 to go for Fort Morgan.
We had good contact. Seawald hit him right at the line of scrimmage, but it was a little bit high, and that allowed McBride to kind of run over the top of him as Seawald kind of ended up on his back after he made the tackle.
2nd down and 7 for the Mustangs at their own 48-yard line. No score. Under 10 minutes to go in the opening quarter from Fort Morgan. Backs it an eye. McBride in the deep back is Jared Bohm, the senior. Schneider on 2nd down, takes the snap, play action, rolls to his left, pressure coming, throws towards the sideline, incomplete, well over the head of the intended receiver, Wes Anderson. In fact, it was caught by Coach Schwent along the sideline. 3rd down and 7 to go for the Mustangs. That's a long, long pass to make, and to complete that pass is even harder.
Yep. But I'll tell you, Morgan had some good play action there. So they fooled about half of our defense, who they all went with the fake to the left side. He was able to roll it out to his left side and have a clear passing lane.
3rd down and 7 to go for the 48. Handoff left side to Bohm. He's got speed to the 50-yard line, swinging it to the outside. 1st down along the left sideline as he's tackled by Eddie Arribas inside the 40 to about the 39. Might get the 38. He does. And that's a gain of 14 yards for Jared Bohm and a Mustang 1st down.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. It's just a sweep to the right side. We were in that 4-man front defensively. They were able to hook our defensive tackle in, and boy, they just had a lot of running room to the outside. The Diggers going to have to do a good job containing Bohm because he's got a lot of speed.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Bee Digger 38-yard line. Bee Diggers went 3 and out on their opening drive. There's the handoff right up the gut to McBride. Rosenbrock holds him up, but McBride driving inside the 35 to the 34. Again, David, it's what you mentioned a few minutes ago when McBride got the ball initially. 2 yards, he finishes with 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, initial contact was right there at the line of scrimmage, but he's just refusing to go down. We had a lot of guys show up to help out on that team tackle, but nobody was downstairs where his feet are. Everybody was jumping up on his back. He's a big, strong kid.
2nd down and 6 to go for the Mustangs at the Bee Digger 34-yard line. Schneider awaiting the snap. Long count. Will hand it off to Bohm on the right side. He's got a hold to the 30-yard line. Along the sideline, breaks the tackle to 25. He's got a 1st down, carrying defenders inside the 15 to the 11. Kyle Rosenbrock makes the play, and it's a gain of 23 yards for Jared Bohm and a Mustang 1st down.
Yep, so 37 yards on 2 carries. And again, that play really wasn't a sweep. I'm not sure if it wasn't meant to go off tackle over here on the right side, but they were able to block our defensive tackle because we're in that 4-man front. They were able to block him down, and then once he got to the corner, he's just got so much speed, he just ran away from people.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Bee Digger 11-yard line. Brush was not scored upon last week, but to do that on the opening drive. Hand on the 5-yard line, and he runs into Kyle. Of 8 for Jared Bohm. 2nd down, and Mustangs are in prime position now to score.
Yeah, they're just going right and then going left on us and just basically running over our defensive ends or linebackers that are supposed to be flying up to have containment.
Head coach Randy Dreitz very intelligently there calls a timeout. He knows that Bee Digger defense is a little bit confused out there. That timeout brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. 7:55 to go in the opening quarter. Brush nothing, Fort Morgan nothing. And the gain possession of the football at the 45. And they have traveled 52 yards. Oh, and this is great position for them because 2nd and 2 from the 3. You're almost better off. It's a 1st and goal from the 3. But 2nd and 2, you can still pick up a 1st down without scoring a touchdown.
Well, if we keep letting them get to that corner on us, they might not need another 1st down.
McBride and Bohm in the backfield. I'm sure they'll just go with running plays at this point because it's been successful. On 2nd and 2 from the 3, Schneider hands off to McBride up the middle, and he drives in for a touchdown. Toby McBride scores from 3 yards out, and the Mustangs lead by a score of 6-0.
And you know, again, we made contact. We never did tackle him. Never did. Even he got into the end zone, and the only reason he was left alone is because the Bee Diggers let go of him. Nobody could bring him down.
Extra point to be attempted by Franny Gonzalez. And at the snap, the kick is up, and that kick is good. 7:50 to go in the opening quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Well, it took the Mustangs just over 2.5 minutes to drive 55 yards. Toby McBride with a 3-yard run up the gut. And the extra point was good. It's a 7-0 lead for Fort Morgan. And again, Franny Gonzalez will kick it off. And they really dominated that corner, Dave. And there's a line drive fielded by Rosenbrock at the 1. Straight ahead to the 10, to the 15, to his left to the 20. A seam to the 30-yard line. And he's tackled at the 33, a return of 32 yards. Big, strong hit over there by Fort Morgan's Brian Sosa.
What you're going to have to do, tackling a big, strong guy like Kyle. Kyle did a good job of fielding that thing. It wasn't an end-over-end kick. It was kind of one of those ones that's kind of halfway between that and a spiral.
Yeah, it was a strong kick. But because there was not enough trajectory, he was able to field it. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Handoff left side. Baker breaks a tackle and then gains 2 yards. Tackled at the 35-yard line. The initial hit by Ure Okanas. 2nd down and 8 to go for Brush, but there was definitely some missed blocking there. With the ball at the 35-yard line.
So that 5-3, and their linebacker on this near side blitzed straight ahead. He blitzed right into the hole that the Diggers were running to.
2nd down and 8 to go for the 35. 40, running to his right to the 45-yard line, into the secondary, spinning across the 50 to the 48. It's a gain of 17 for Randy Baker, and a Brush Digger first down.
So just ran that trap. Nothing fancy, but it caught the Mustangs not reading their keys, and they were running all over the place. They didn't follow our guard, and I'll tell you what, Baker took advantage of that right up the middle. Guard over there is Jose Rodriguez, and our tackle on that side's Nichols, and boy, they just did a good job of shoving that defensive line of Fort Morgan right to the outside.
They got to do that more consistently. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the Mustang 48. 7-0 Fort Morgan on Toby McBride's 3-yard run. The backs are split, now lining up on the right hash mark. Rosenbrock will hand it off on the counter to Gutierrez, to his right to the 46-yard line. That's an excellent open field tackle along the far side. It's only a gain of 2. That might have been Ure Ocañas again. 2nd down and 8 to go. There would have been daylight there for Mikey, but he was one tackler away from being in the open.
Yeah, once he got through the hole, he planted his left foot and tried to make a cut towards the Digger sideline and try to turn it upfield there. But once he made that cut, Ure Ocañas just slid in there and tackled him low at the knees.
2nd down and 8 to go for the Beat Diggers at the 46-yard line of the Mustangs. Rosenbrock on the option right, looking for a seam, cuts it back to the 45, and then carries defenders inside the 45 to about the 42, maybe the 41. A swarm of Mustang defenders make the play, and the spot looks like it will be the 42. A gain of 4. 3rd down and 4 to go for Brush, and this could be 4-down territory.
Diggers did a good job of hooking everybody inside, and their fakes worked. They had the Mustangs beat, ran that bootleg, but it was to the short side of the field, so Kyle ran out of running room over there.
3rd down and 4 for the Beat Diggers of the 42. Nico Guzman's in motion to the left. Handoff left side across the 40, and Baker had his helmet taken off. He's got a 1st down. He helicoptered down to the 39. Now to the 38 is where they placed the football, but that, I tell you, Dave, if there was about a 45-yard penalty for face masking, that would be it, because that was extremely dangerous. His helmet came off.
Yeah, he was 3 feet off the ground, spinning in the air. His feet were further downfield than his head was, because his head was still attached to the hand of the Mustang that grabbed his face mask.
I mean, I'm sure it was incidental, but that was ugly. A gain of 4 and then tack on 15 for the personal foul. Dave, I'm amazed he got up. I mean, that could have been very bad for the Beat Diggers from an injury standpoint.
Yeah, for Randy, boy, that's the kind of play right there that set a guy up for life. That was dangerous.
1st and 10 for Brush at the Fort Morgan 24-yard line. Beat Diggers trailing 7-0, 5:04 to go in the opening quarter from Fort Morgan. Man in motion to the left is Alec Peterson. Rosenbrock hands it off to Baker, running to his right, and he dives. Gain of close to 3. Second down and 7 as Randy Baker picked up over there by Justin.
Just being content to keep running that 30 series, running the trap, then coming back with the off tackle on the far side. They ran that bootleg, come up with some play action off of that pretty soon.
The 21. Peterson is in motion to Rosenbrock on the pitch left to Arribas, drops it, picks it back up, gets.
Good job. We got lucky and had the perfect bounce. It went right back up into his hands when he was on the run. So we definitely got lucky. But Arribas did a good job of keeping his eyes on it and running straight ahead.
All right, we're going to, let's take a break here. We're going to take a 1-minute break right after this. I'm going to call through the phone line. All right, the Beat Diggers now with a handoff to Eddie Arribas up the middle inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Now there is a flag down. As soon as the ball was snapped, the flag went down. And let's see who this penalty is against. It'll be illegal motion. Illegal motion is the penalty against the Beat Diggers. So that 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line is coming back to the 19. John Beltran with Dave Urich, 3:36 to go. In the opening quarter, Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing. On a 3-yard run by Toby McBride. Now it's 1st and 15, and penalties were an issue last week, Dave.
Yep. But, you're going to have a few of those mistakes early on. But I really didn't see the motion there. We were in basically our tight offense, double tight with the wideout over on the far side. I just didn't see the motion unless one of our backs flinched right before the snap.
1st down and 15 to go from the Fort Morgan 19. 3:12 to go first quarter. Rosenbrock on the option left will pitch it to Gutierrez along the left sideline. He runs into defenders along the 15-yard line, tackled by Ure Ucañas. Also in on the play was Jason Leonhardt, the junior. And it'll be a gain of close to 4. It'll be 2nd down and 11 to go after that pickup by the junior Gutierrez.
Yep, I'll tell you what, that option looked nice on that play. And we got a good pitch, but again, we're on the short side of the field, so it's tough for him to be able to turn that corner because he just ran out of that running room. They were able to use the sideline to help him make the tackle.
2nd down and 11 to go for the Beat Diggers at the 15-yard line of the Mustangs. 2 in the backfield, including Randy Baker. Looks like they're coming with a blitz. Rosenbrock on the option right has running room to the outside, cuts it back towards the 12-yard line, and he dives to about the 11. Maybe getting to the 11. They might backtrack it to the 12. Jared Bohm was over there to make the hit. It's a gain of 3. 3rd down and 8 from the 12 for Brush as we are closing in on 2 minutes to go first quarter.
They're definitely zeroed in on Rosenbrock. He has 3 carries, 6-5, and a 3-yarder. Not really those big yards that we saw last week, but the Mustangs are doing a good job with their defensive backs coming up and help making those tackles.
It'll be 3rd down and 8 to go for the 12-yard line for the Beat Diggers. And in motion to the left is Guzman. There's the handoff on the right side to Baker. Gets around a defender to the 10-yard line, and he's down at the 9. Fort Morgan wasn't fooled there on that counter. And that gain is close to 3 yards. 4th down and about 5 to go for Brush after the 3-yard pickup by Randy Baker. As he went out of bounds with 1:34 to go in the first, and the Beat Diggers will be going for it.
It was a good play. We had some good fakes on that play. It fooled a lot of the Mustang defenders. But there was just enough of those guys on that backside that saw Baker coming that were able to come up and make the tackle.
4th and 5 from the 9. Rosenbrock on the option left. Will fake it. He'll keep it himself. Now he'll pitch it last second. Along the sideline of the 5 is Arribas, and he will score, but there's a flag down. There is a flag down at about the 4-yard line, which might nullify that 9-yard touchdown run by Arribas. We'll check it out, and I think it's going to go against Brush Day based on the body language.
Yeah, you know what? That's thrown right over there where a guy's got a block in the back or got held over there when they were trying to hook a defensive end.
Yep, it is a block in the back against the Beat Diggers. And the block in the back occurred at the 5-yard line. So give Arribas 4 yards and then a 10-yard penalty from there. So it's still a 4th down, but now it's 4th and 11. Lining up along the left hash mark, the Beat Diggers will not attempt a field goal. They're going to go for it. With 1:25 to go in the opening quarter, trailing Fort Morgan 7-0 here at Legion Field. Jake Brown is the receiver to the right on 4th and 11 from the 15-yard line. Rosenbrock back to throw. Looks, throws, and the pass is incomplete at the 5-yard line. Intended over there for Kalen Brandt. And the Mustangs take over on downs.
Just some confusion there. Our back in the backfield, when they run that play action, has to block on one particular side. He's supposed to be picking up a defensive end that's coming in. But they ran into each other, and Rosenbrock kind of sidearmed it out there to flick it out there. They had the distance to get the first down, but unfortunately for Brush, he just threw it behind him.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 15-yard line. With 1:21 to go in the opening quarter, Joey Schneider will hand it off to Jared Bohm, running left, a seam across the 15 to about the 18. The first hit was made by Kyle Rosenbrock. It's a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 to go for Fort Morgan.
Tell you what, Morgan's coming out running some power and just kind of shoving it down our throats here a little bit right now. You see a lot of those offensive linemen getting upfield and making blocks on our linebackers.
Well, Bohm gave it 139 yards against Berthoud last week, but had 2 fourth-quarter fumbles, so he is susceptible to the turnover. 2nd down and 7 to go for the Mustangs at their own 18-yard line, leading by a score of 7-0. And there's the handoff on the right side, and Bohm is going nowhere. As Rosenbrock and Gutierrez read it beautifully, they got him in the backfield as he was trying to swing it to the outside. He's going to lose 3 yards in a play. It'll be 3rd down and 10, and Beat Diggers certainly made a nice adjustment from the first drive when they took it down the field.
Who really did a good job on that play with Seawald. He's the defensive tackle out here on this side. He's the only one out here with the tight end and a tackle and a guard, and he has a big responsibility there to try to take on some of those people and free up our linebackers. But he didn't get hooked. He didn't get pushed around, and that's what allowed Rosenbrock to come from his middle linebacker position and Mikey to come from the left linebacker position to make the tackle.
That's the end of the opening quarter with a score. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urick back for Legion Field in Fort Morgan, 7-0 in favor of the Mustangs headed to the second quarter. 3rd down and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 15-yard line as the Mustangs got on the board on their only full drive of the opening quarter, a 3-yard run by Toby McBride. But now it's a passing situation with Bohm the lone setback. 2 receivers out to the left and right. Joey Schneider on 3rd and 10. Rolls to his right, throws on the run. The pass is complete underneath and close to a first down, but looked like he's a yard short. That is Eric Kemble along the right sideline. Tackled at the 24. It's a gain of 9. 4th down. And, well, they're going to say it's back at the 23. His knee was down. It's a gain of 8. 4th down and 2 to go. And the Mustangs will be forced to punt.
It was a quick hitter, wasn't it? He rolled out to the right side and threw the ball really quick. I think the Diggers dropped back into their pass coverage. Thinking, they were probably going to throw it a little bit deeper and created that cushion for him to throw the ball so quickly.
Tony Zwetzik to punt at his own 10-yard line. Perfect snap, and he's going to get it off. And that ball is a line drive. Watch out of your Beat Digger running downfield, and it's going to take a Mustang bounce inside the 50 to the 47. Well, he got lucky there. That was not a very good punt at all. It was just about 3 feet off the ground. And the Beat Diggers have excellent field position. In fact, that was only a 24-yard punt. Now let's see if Brush can tie the game.
I think you called it, though. I think the Diggers might have got even luckier because they were all running backward, setting up for the return blocking. That would have been easy for one of them to get hit in the back by the ball.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 47-yard line. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan. They have financial solutions for you at Equitable Savings and Loan. From the 47. Coming on a blitz. Handoff left side to Gutierrez. Spins it back towards the middle across the 50 to the 49-yard line. Middle of that defensive line in there. Gain of 4 to make the play. Call it 2nd and 5 on that game by Gutierrez. Around that football was Ocañas once again and Jeremy Herrera. 2nd down and 5 to go for the Beat Diggers, just shy of the Fort Morgan 48-yard line. And there's the option left for Rosenbrock. He'll take off with the football to the 40-yard line, back to the middle to the 30. Cuts it to his left to the 25, and he's down, but he's got a first down inside the 20 to the 15. And Kyle Rosenbrock has just traveled 33 yards, and the Beat Diggers are in the red zone.
So he's got 47 yards now and 4 carries. I'll tell you what, he's just a money man. He touches the ball, and things are going to happen. Every time he touches it, he expects to score a touchdown, whether he's on his own 1-yard line or on the opponent's.
Well, he just needed a block, Dave, and he got the block that time and almost went the distance. 1st and 10 for Brush at the 15-yard line of Fort Morgan. 10:49 to go in the second quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing. Baker and Arribas are in the backfield. Another blitz. There's a handoff right up the gut, and that looks like it is Baker. Check that, Arribas. Got about 3 yards. And the tackle over there was made by Wilgenberg along with Henry Weimer. 2nd down and 7 off the 3-yard gain by Double E.
So again, they blitzed on our strong side. That's our advantage, boys. Sooner or later, they're going to blitz and run right past our running back.
2nd down and 7 to go for the 12-yard line. Rosenbrock awaits a snap, and on the option right, he will pitch it to Arribas, swings it to the outside. He's got no running room, breaks a tackle at the 10, and then he spins down right there. Jared Bohm was in on the play for Fort Morgan, and he was one of 3 Mustangs. Alexander Perez also in on the tackle. Now they'll give it to the 11, but Dave, that's a hard yard there for Eddie Arribas. It's 3rd down and 4 to go for Brush.
But credit to him, I'll tell you what, I was really impressed with his power on that play, because typically, you don't see Eddie breaking a lot of tackles. And, well, he broke that one right there and was able to pick a couple more yards because it was all him. He was surrounded by Mustangs.
Right, it would have been a 3-yard loss. Instead, 3rd and 4 at the 11. 9:57 to go second quarter. Trips to the left for the Beat Diggers. One setback, that is Mikey Gutierrez. On 3rd down, Rosenbrock back to throw, still looking, throws it over the middle, passes, dropped in the end zone, wide open. That should have been an easy 6. Oh, you cannot drop that football. That was perfectly thrown and dropped by Jake Brown. Yeah, you can't drop that football, Dave. That was too easy. He should have made that catch almost blindfolded.
Yeah, it was such a well-thrown ball. It was one of those ones that if he didn't have his hands up there, it would have hit him in the face mask.
4th down and 6 to go for the 11. The Beat Diggers once again will be going for it.
The Mustangs did blitz again, though, on that play. And they're not afraid to be sending linebackers. Here they come again.
In motion to the left is Peterson. Rosenbrock on the option left, looking for a block. Not much running room. He's going to run out of room. He's going to be thrown down for a big loss. And the ball is fumbled, but his knee was down. Rosenbrock thrown down at the 18. That essentially amounts to a sack, a loss of 7. And the Mustangs take over on down to their own 18-yard line.
They've got her 2 times down there close to the red zone, getting shut out. But, the Diggers have their opportunity. They've got to be building some confidence. They came out and showed them that they could throw the football. You just got to catch it.
Yeah, he was wide open. I mean, Brown, I'm sure, was very mad at himself. You could see it out there. 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 18-yard line, leading by a touchdown early in the second quarter. Schneider with a backseat and will hand it off to, that's not Bohm, a hit in the backfield. It's a loss of 1. Let's see who that one was, Dave. And that was Jose Fadoa. Right at the line of scrimmage, a bunch of Beat Diggers in there, including Alec Peterson. 2nd down and 10 to go for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, boy, we had 2 guys that just stood him up right there. They got through the backfield. I'm excited to see Brush not doing a lot of blitzing. They're doing a pretty good job of holding their ground and playing defense.
2nd down and 10 to go for Fort Morgan at their own 18-yard line. The receivers out to the left and right. Wes Anderson is the receiver out to the left. Backs remain in an eye. On second down, Schneider, quick drop. Over the middle, the pass is caught. That's a first down, spinning across the 30 to the 35, down to the 37. Eddie Arribas makes the tackle. There's a late flag. Austin Kussman makes the catch, and it's a gain of 18 yards. Now let's see what the flag is all about. Let's see if it's going to be, I would think, some sort of personal foul, but I'm only guessing from this vantage point, and it is a personal foul, and it's against Brush on that tackle. So that amounts to a 33-yard gain off that pass to Cosman, and the football is sitting at the Brush 49-yard line.
Well, he just came open right over the middle. There just wasn't any diggers there to make the tackle. Been right underneath our free safety in the back. He wasn't able to fly up fast enough to help out.
Might have been called for spearing there. I'm not sure, but it was an awfully high tackle. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, the 49. 8:54 to go, second quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing. I'm John Beltran with Dave Urich from Legion Field. The handoff to Bohm on the left side, met at the line of scrimmage by Mikey Gutierrez, and Bohm is going nowhere. He spun his way for maybe half a yard, and that was it as the Beat Diggers closed that hole. Second down, we'll call it a short 10.
Yeah, Gutierrez hit him right there. Then he started going for the ball, didn't he? He was reaching in there, and he wasn't really concerned about taking Bohm down. I think Bohm might have been trying to get to the grass just to prevent, a possible fumble.
Well, the Beat Diggers have had 2 impressive drives, but have not put the ball in the end zone. Fort Morgan had 1 good drive, and the ball landed in the end zone. Second down, and a call it close to 9. For the Mustangs to the Beat Digger 48-yard line. Schneider, play action, looking to throw, sets over the middle of the pass, incomplete. Intended at the 37-yard line for Kyle Daniels, but well overthrown. 3rd down and 9.
Yep, the Diggers doing a pretty good job back there with their coverage, though. I watched their linebackers that time. Once they didn't fall for that play action, they got back into their hook zones pretty quick, and Snyder just didn't have that clear of a passing lane.
3rd and 9 with the ball just shy of the 47. As Toby McBride checks out of the game along with Austin Cosman. Just shy of the 47. The wind kicks up here on what's becoming a cooler night in Fort Morgan. Trips to the right. Schneider rolls that way, looking to throw, sets, throws, the pass is intercepted at the 38-yard line across the 40 to the 44, and that's Alec Peterson with a pick, and he was sitting right there almost playing center field, and the Beat Diggers come up with the first turnover of the game.
Well, he's a good baseball player, so he was right in the right position. He did a good job. He's a smart player. He read the rollout that Snyder had. He saw where the receivers were, and he put himself in the passing lane. So good job there for Alec, and another great defensive play this week.
The Beat Diggers have the football with 7:56 to go before the break. 56 yards away from tying the game. And they've been in that red zone already twice, but haven't come up with a big play. Trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. The lone setback is Mikey Gutierrez. Now in motion to the left is Nico Guzman. Rosenbrock with long count is back to throw, looking, setting up, throwing across the middle, complete, a first down inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. Nico Guzman ran a perfect pattern. Check, it's the 29, and it's a gain of 27 for a Beat Digger first down.
Yeah, he did a good job just running that little post pattern over the middle. And actually, it was probably just a little bit of a deeper slant. And Rosenbrock did a great job just putting the ball right on the money.
Yeah, well, that was a similar pass he threw to Brown. Gain of 27, 1st and 10. For the Beat Diggers to the 29-yard line of Fort Morgan. Again, trips to the left this time. Baker's in motion to the right. Handoff, Arribas right up the middle. He's met at the line of scrimmage. He's going nowhere. The Mustangs were right there to make the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 to go. Rayo Cañas with the first hit for Fort Morgan.
Yep, the Diggers, I like how they're coming out, and they're still trying to run that ball up the middle, and I'm still a believer, you got to stick with that running game. You have to establish that, let your team know that they can run the football against good defense.
From the 29, 2nd down and 10, a blitz is coming. Rosenbrock throws out to his right, the pass is incomplete. Off the hand of the intended receiver, Nico Guzman. And you're right, Dave, the Mustangs have come with quite a few blitzes in this game. They're taking chances. And one of these times, the Beat Diggers are going to make them pay.
Yeah, it's just like gambling at the casino. You might be winning all the money for a while, but after a while, you're going to start losing it. And they're gambling right now. That time they did blitz their linebacker on this near side. He was able to get in Rosenbrock's face and force Rosenbrock into having to throw the ball sooner. And another thing is messing our linemen up. Our linemen, they're used to all these blocking rules, and when people start blitzing on you, the blocking rules kind of get put to the wayside.
Two receivers each side, 3rd and 10, coming with a blitz again, almost crossed the line of scrimmage, and there's the flag. I believe there was a Mustang defender in the neutral zone as 2 flags have been thrown, and this should make it a lot more manageable. That was going to be a pass on that play, but now you're talking 3rd and 5, as the football will be placed at the 24-yard line. And now that really opens up the playbook, Dave.
Yeah, though, remember, we're a 4-down team, so I know, we're not going to kick it from here, for the field goal. We'll be going for it. But you're right, having that penalty helps. It was peculiar, though. Neither official threw the flag until Coach Swin over there ran over there to his line judge on his side and reminded him the kid was offside.
It is 3rd down and 5 to go to the 24-yard line. The lone receiver is out to the right. That is Jake Brown. Baxter split. There's the pitch right to Gutierrez. There's running room to the outside of the 20, and he spins his way across the 20 to about the 19, close to a first down. Looks like he's got it, as Oreo Cañas made the tackle just inside the 19. It's a gain of 5 for Mikey Gutierrez, and a Beat Digger first down. And for the 3rd time in the first half, the Beat Diggers are in the red zone.
Yep, Mikey's got 19 yards now on 5 carries. So about a 4-yard average, that's not too shabby. Diggers over here on this side, Nichols, and Rodriguez doing a good job of blocking for him.
Trips to the left. 1st and 10 for the 19, coming with another blitz. Rosenbrock is rolling to his left. He might take off. He's going to throw on the run. The pass is complete to Jake Brown inside the 10-yard line to about the 9, very close to a first down. Excellent pass and catch there. Rosenbrock to Brown. They'll mark it at the 10, Dave. It's a gain of 9. Even better, 2nd down and 1 from the 10 for Brush.
You bet. We got 36 yards passing, completing 2 of 5 so far. That time Rosenbrock rolling to his left. That's a hard pass to be able to make. But he did a good job and showed a lot of upper body strength as he was able to put the ball right on the money. Jake did a good job concentrating that time and tucking it away.
2nd down and 1 from the Mustang 10-yard line. Baxter split. Rosenbrock will hand it off up the middle. First down to Mikey Gutierrez to the 5-yard line. Might have squeezed his way to the 4. They'll give him the 4. It's a gain of 6 for the junior, Mikey Gutierrez.
Just running that trap there up the middle and catching the Mustangs worried about our outside and passing game.
1st down and goal for the Beat Diggers. The football is sitting at the 4-yard line. And now the Beat Diggers call a timeout. The play clock was running down. And we'll keep it right here. That Beat Digger timeout brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life, home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call. 842-4555. That's Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. 5:53 to go, 2nd quarter. Fort Morgan with a 7-0 lead on a 3-yard touchdown run by Toby McBride. This is the 3rd time the Beat Diggers are in the red zone. And what's that phrase, Dave? 3rd time's a charm? It should be. I mean, you've got a 2nd and 1 situation now, 1st and goal at the 4. You got 4 plays to make 4 yards. You'd have to almost beat yourself right here.
Oh, for sure. Our average right now, our every play average is easily 4 yards to carry. So the odds are we should get in this thing. It'll just be interesting to see how we do it. If the coaches choose to just pound it at them or if they're going to try to get around the outside with some finesse.
Gutierrez and Baker are in the backfield. 1st and goal from the 4. Rosenbrock hands it off right side to Baker. Flag is down, and he's down at the 4, maybe the 3-yard line. Looks like the Beat Digger's going to be called for a hold, as the flag was thrown in the middle of the line. Alexander Perez makes the tackle. But that's what I talked about, Dave, beating yourself. And we're walking backwards here. That will be a chop block against Brush. And that one is coming way back. That's not a 10-yard penalty. That's a 15-yard penalty. And actually, it happened at the 5-yard line, so it's a 16-yard penalty. First and goal from the 20.
Yep, that one hurt. That one hurt. Diggers just got to stay focused, though. 20 yards for a play for a few of our players isn't a big deal, but like you were saying, these mental mistakes, these are things we were hoping to iron out before we get into our season against Eaton and Platte Valley in the next couple of weeks.
First and goal from the 20. Rosenbrock is in a roll to his right, looking to throw, sets along the sideline, incomplete. Jake Brown was open at the 11, but it was overthrown. Second down and goal to go for Brush at the Mustang 20-yard line.
Yep, just threw it over his head. Jake jumped. He's a good jumper, too. He jumped as high as he could, but still didn't get a hand on the ball.
You want your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them. Purchase the best quality parts and accessories at great prices at your local Napa Auto Store, Central Auto Parts. That's in Fort Morgan. Second down and goal to go for the 20. Two receivers out to the left and two to the right. With one setback, that's Mikey Gutierrez. Rosenbrock back to throw. Now he'll take off on a quarterback draw to the 15-yard line. Breaks a tackle at the 12, and he's down to the 10. Nifty move by Kyle Rosenbrock as Ureo Cañas, who's been on a lot of plays, made the hit. It'll be third and goal after a gain of 10 for Kyle Rosenbrock.
That takes Rosenbrock up to 50 yards on 6 carries. Yeah, it was just a quarterback draw. He took that snap and made it look like pass and took off running straight ahead. There wasn't a huge hole there. There was a lot of traffic.
4:44 to go, second quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing. Trips to the left. And now we have a stoppage and a timeout called by the Mustangs. So the Beat Diggers have taken 2 timeouts, and Fort Morgan has taken 1 timeout so far. If you're tired of the same old lunch and dinner menus, switch it up and pick up something new for the hot and cold deli selection at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Find great food at low prices. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins, and your one-stop center for your home improvement projects. Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush, your one-stop shop for flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. That's Ackley Building Center. All right, Dave, 2 big plays here coming up. Hopefully only 1 big play. Third down and goal to go from the 10-yard line.
I'm anxious to see what the coaches go with here. See Coach Stites is out there talking to the officials, and I think they're trying to get things sorted out. Might be asking questions about what that chop block call was all about.
Well, let's see what the Beat Diggers come up with, because they haven't come up with the clutch plays when they've had the ball deep in Fort Morgan territory. Dave, this wind is kicking up again, and never know how that wind plays a factor in the passing game.
Well, at least it's to our back.
Right. Yeah, so it shouldn't be a negative one. Trips to the right. Third down and goal from the 10-yard line. Rosenbrock rolls to his right, looking to throw. Sets, throws right side, intercepted at the 4-yard line. Along the left sideline to the 10, still on his feet to about the 18-yard line. And there's a little bit of activity at the end of the play. The interception by Richard Herrera, who came up with an interception last week in a 4-point victory over Berthoud. And the Mustangs have the football with 4:28 to go before the break. Third time the Beat Diggers have been in the red zone, and they're 0 for 3.
Yeah, but on that play, you got to give the Mustangs some credit. The Beat Diggers tried to roll out to the right side, kind of a waggle pass, sort of a look, and our receivers were over there, but they were just a little bit too close together to where it was easy for the Mustangs to defend, 2 guys with 1 person. They had equal number of defenders over there as we had, so there was just too much traffic.
First and 10 for the 17-yard line. Schneider on the option right. He's going to go down. He goes down at the 13-yard line. He saw a lot of beat diggers there, including Chase Klein and Maverick Seawald, thrown for a 4-yard loss, 2nd down and 14. Dave, I think it's clear that for the most part, the beat diggers are now establishing the line of scrimmage after that first drive by Fort Morgan in which they controlled the line of scrimmage. Problem is, you don't get in the end zone. Who cares?
Yeah, that's right. But they stay on Monday Night Football, on Thursday Night Football the other night, they just said nothing matters except for points on the scoreboard.
2nd down and 14 to go. The Mustangs have the ball at their own 13-yard line. 7-0 Fort Morgan. Backs it an eye. Let's see if they run the football here. No, Schneider wants to throw. Play action looking deep up the left sideline. And the pass is dropped. And there's going to be interference, but I think that's offensive interference at the 45. It looked like Wes Anderson pushed off against Eddie Arribas. That should be offensive interference. And more than likely, the beat diggers would decline it, make that a 3rd and 14. Because Arribas was there, but all of a sudden there was separation. And that's going to be the call. Now let's see the beat diggers take the penalty or not. Dave, I'd almost be inclined to decline that penalty because it's only half the distance. You'd go from the 14 or the 13 to the 6.5. That wouldn't make much sense. And I think the beat diggers will decline the penalty.
Yeah, if anything, from a time standpoint, just to try to shut them down and get the ball with just at least a little bit of time left on the clock to try to put some points on the scoreboard.
3:35 to go, second quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing. 3rd down and 14 to go from the 13-yard line. One setback. This could be a handoff just to get out of bad field position. Man in motion to the right. There will be a give to Bohm up the middle across the 15. Mikey Gutierrez tries to strip that football. Bohm does have 7 yards to the 20. I think that's a good call by Fort Morgan, Dave. They were in a major jam. They're still in a jam, but at least it's not 4th and 14. It's only 4th and 7, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to be standing on their goal line to punt the football. You know the Diggers are going to be bringing some heat here.
So the Mustangs will be punting here as we approach the 3-minute mark of the opening half. AC Ice supports local high school sports throughout the community. In Northeast Colorado, you can find it at any local grocery or convenience store. AC Ice. Tony Swetzik to punt. Randy Baker. Ty Rosenbrock back to receive. There's a flag immediately. Low line drive punt. It'll bounce at the 48. Take a huge Mustang roll, and it's hit at the 38-yard line and down at the 37. And hopefully for the beat diggers, this is against Fort Morgan because, yeah, and it is illegal procedure. They're going to have to punt that again, Dave. I wouldn't take that field position at all. You make them punt that football again, you're going to pick up more than what the beat diggers lost on that. That punt ended up actually being a 42-yard punt, so there's no doubt they'll have to punt it once again.
That time the Diggers set up to return it. Let's see if they bring some pressure this time, since they're going to be standing a lot closer to their end zone when he tries to punt it.
It'll be at the 15-yard line, and that's where Tony Zwedzik and the Mustangs set up on 4th down. Zwedzik is standing at his own 1. And he's had trouble getting trajectory on these punts, awaiting the snap, and there comes a rush. Gets it off another low-line drive, bounces at the 44, fielded by Baker at the 50. Baker running to his left, breaks out of a tackle right there, along the 45, the sideline to the 35, Baker to the 20, to the 50, 10-5, Baker! Touchdown for Randy Baker! 50 yards for Baker! And the Beat Diggers make it. A 7-6 game they score on special teams.
Yep, nice to knock that lid off the can. I'll tell you what, Baker did a good job of fielding it because it took a high bounce. A lot of kids would have let that thing roll, but I love the fact that when he's backing on those returns that he catches the football, and once he caught it, I thought he was going to run right. He saw the lane to the left. He actually had to jump over one of the Fort Morgan defenders, and once he did that, he had the blocking upfield.
Beat Diggers will go for 2. We're going to make it a 51-yard punt return. It was between 50 and 51, so let's see if Rush can take the lead now. A timeout is called. The Beat Diggers will take their final timeout. No, Fort Morgan will be taking the timeout. So we will keep it right here. Once again, you can follow us on Twitter.
Coach Harrison Chisholm made that call Sorry about that, Johnny. Coach Harrison Chisholm made that call because their defense wasn't prepared for a 2-point conversion. They were ready for just a kick, and the Diggers lined up out there in that spread formation. Coach Chisholm over here called that timeout in a hurry. Boy, he got after his coach and his team to make sure they had the right guys out there on the field.
Yeah, because this is important here for the Mustangs defensively. After that, we'll call it 51-yard punt return by Randy Baker. And now they'll go for 2 momentarily.
Yep, we're not sending our kick and tee out there onto the field, so we're definitely going for 2, and we're already lined up in more of a spread formation with 2 backs in the backfield and Rosenbrock under center.
And in the backfield, Baker and Peterson. In motion to the right is Brandt. Rosenbrock back to throw, throws to his left, wide open, caught. 2-point conversion is good to Jake Brown. 2:26 to go before the break. Rush 8, Fort Morgan 7 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Dave, long time in coming, but the Beat Diggers finally have the lead. 51-yard punt return by Randy Baker. And really all he did was break 1 tackle, and he got a couple of blocks, and he got a seam up the left sideline.
He sure did. But, I think the Diggers were sealing everybody off to this side. They must have been, because all the Morgan kids, they weren't staying in their lanes covering that punt at all. They were all shifting over here towards the Fort Morgan sideline, and that left that whole area over there for Baker to run to. There was only 1 guy over there on the sideline, and the Diggers had about 3 guys out in front of Randy to help block.
Dave, I'm interested to see when we get to halftime what the numbers look like, because Fort Morgan, after their scoring drive, have done virtually nothing offensively. Here's Omar Fierro. Oh, he boots that one nice and fairly deep to the 9-yard line, straight ahead to the 15, running to the right to the 20, and Mikey Gutierrez nails Elliot Wunsch at the 22-yard line. It looked like Wunsch was running high. Gutierrez hit him high, and that's the result of that collision.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a collision. You know who else hit him? There was Jake Brown. He had good contact on him, and I'll tell you what, once they made it, he ended up going back to his back. He didn't have another yard gain after that contact.
Was that did I miss that, Dave? Was it Brown more than Gutierrez?
Well, it was both of them. It was both of them.
Yeah, because that was a nice shot.
Yeah.
Dave, if the Mustangs decide to open things up, this might not be an 8-7 game at halftime. 2:20 to go in the second quarter. After Baker's 51-yard punt return of the 2-point conversion pass from Rosenbrock to Brown, handoff left side to Bohm, and he's hit right there. He's trying to break tackles. He's carrying defenders, and then Gutierrez throws him down at the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 3. Some hard running there by the senior Jared Bohm.
Yeah, we're just not doing a very good job of hitting him low, but, he is a strong kid, a physical kid. He keeps his feet underneath him, and he just keeps driving his legs.
Second down and 7 to go for the 25-yard line. 1:52 to go. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining in this second quarter. Maxon and I, receivers out to the left and right. Joey Schneider, the junior quarterback, with a wind kicking up here in Fort Morgan. Hands it off on the right side to Bohm. Looks for a seam, cuts it back towards the middle, and he's down after a gain of 1. And the initial penetration was made by Kyle Rosenbrock. Dave, there are 2 words that Coach Randy Dreitz kept stressing during Beat Digger Blastoff: assignment football. Struggled in that first quarter on that drive, but ever since that scoring drive, it looks like assignment football has been the key for this defense.
Well, that's the key to championships, Individuals, what do they say? Individuals can win games, but teams win championships. And, the Diggers are playing some assignment football now. I was impressed with Seawald on that play. He ran him down from the backside.
Third down and 6 to go for the 26. Schneider rolls to his left, looking to throw underneath, and that pass is incomplete. It fluttered out of his hand, unless it was tipped. But it was intended along the left sideline. Over there for Eric Kemble. It'll be 4th down. Dave, I don't know, why did the Beat Diggers call a timeout? Brought to you by State Farm Insurance. They call a timeout off an incomplete pass. And, well, Normally, you don't call timeouts when you stop the clock. That's why I asked the question. But who knows? Last time we had a special teams play, it was a 51-yard punt return by Baker.
Maybe they have a different idea as far as the punt block, too, because we know they brought the pressure on that last punt. So maybe they're making sure that they have a good return or a punt block in place.
Well, remember, Dave, time was winding down last Friday. They had a 40-yard pass to Baker and a 52-yard run by Gutierrez. We thought it was going to be 21-0 at the break. It was 28-0. So there's no way that Brush is settling, Dave, for an 8-7 halftime lead. It might happen, but it's not because they're not going to not try to extend this lead. They definitely want to stretch out the advantage.
Exactly. You know, they know what's happening after the half. They want to make sure that they have a little bigger lead before they get the ball back.
But let's see how Zwedzik punts the ball here. He might keep it away from Baker. As he's standing at his own 12-yard line, Baker's at the 45, Dave, virtually the same spot that he was when he returned the last punt. There's a low snap. He gets it off a line drive, and the ball bounces to the 45. Baker's not going to be able to field this one. Takes a Mustang roll inside the 40 to the 36. So that one worked out very well for Fort Morgan. With the ball at the 36-yard line, a punt of 38 yards, and there's 45.1 seconds to go before the break, with the Beat Diggers leading this game by a score of 8-7. There we can see more of the field now. All the Mustang faithful standing here throughout the course of the first half. I think some of them got tired.
Yeah, I think they're maybe giving up a little hope. The Diggers look pretty impressive on that last period.
Trips to the right. 1st and 10 for Brush at their own 36-yard line. Rosenbach back to throw. Set. He's it deep up the middle, but incomplete. And very well covered was Nico Guzman. He had a half a step on the defender, but covered nicely by Isaiah Lopez. 2nd down and 10. You know, Dave, with all the blitzing that they throw at you, a screen pass, not that I'm a play caller, but a screen pass could be a genius idea.
Hey, we saw what Baltimore did with that the other night for a while.
Yeah, good point. 2nd down and 10 from the 36. 40.1 seconds to go. Trips to the right. One setback. That's Eddie Arribas. The Beat Diggers on their own side of the field, and Rosenbach again back to throw. Pressure coming. Keeps it deep up the left sideline, and that's going to be incomplete as well. There's a flag down. Baker and the defender made contact. Dave, I think that was incidental. They might say that's offensive interference against Baker.
I don't know, it looked like they just got tangled up. They were running hip to hip, and looked like their legs just got tangled up a bit.
Eric Flughoff was the defender. That's got to be incidental. If that's interference, Dave, I think it's going to be against the Beat Diggers, because Flughoff went down and so did Baker, but Flughoff was a little bit more theatrical in going to the ground. Interference. No, it's against Fort Morgan, Dave, I got to tell you. If they call that interference against the Mustangs, the only thing I could see from this vantage point, and we're across the field, is that Baker's pass was cut off towards the football. I don't know if you saw the same thing.
Yeah, like I said, it looked like they just got hip to hip and got their legs tangled up. But I also wasn't able to see if the Fort Morgan kid had a handout on his in front of Baker or not. You know, that could have been the case as well.
Well, it's a 15-yard penalty. The football is just shy of the Mustang 49, 32.9 seconds to go. Dave, how many times throughout the years have we seen the Beat Diggers pull something out of the hat right before halftime?
Oh, lots of times, because just a few seconds is all we need.
And now the Mustangs call their final timeout. We'll keep it right here with the Beat Diggers in the lead, 8-7. Toby McBride scored from 3 yards out in the opening quarter for Fort Morgan. And then Randy Baker minutes ago with a 51-yard punt return. That's what I'm calling it officially. It was close to 51 yards. And by the way, I normally don't record the video of the special teams plays, but Dave, I've been having a feeling. So that'll be up on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube and on KSIRsports.com tomorrow.
Good intuition.
And have some feedback from a buddy of mine who thought that call he just texted me was not a very good call at all, Dave. And like I said, the way you and I saw it live is that it was incidental contact. But either way, you know, Dave, calls like that, they're not objective, they're subjective. And, sometimes they don't go the right way.
Yeah, and another thing is, where's the call come from? By the Digger bench. So that official over there, he's got a lot of pressure that people are chirping at him. The same play could have happened on this side, and the call could have gone the other way based on the chirping that the Fort Morgan coaches were giving them.
1st and 10 for the 49-yard line. Trips to the left. Rosenbrock back to throw. Rolling left. Sets up. Looking to throw. He's still in the pocket. Rolls to his right. Got plenty of time. He's going to take off with the football along the left side of the 45, down to the 40. He's inside the 40 to the 38 maybe. To the 33, excuse me. Rosenbrock took off. Okay, the pass protection, I should say, was phenomenal there. It's a gain of 16 yards and a first down for Brush.
So 66 yards now for Rosenbrock on 7 carries. And I can tell you the whole Brush faithful. By the way, the crowd over there, the stands are pretty much packed with Brush people. But I guarantee all the faithful was just thinking, run with it, Kyle, because they got us covered. They only have 3 defensive linemen up there. The other 8 guys are all dropped back into pass coverage. So it was a great time for him to take off with the ball.
Well, there's 20.8 seconds to go before the break. Beatniggers are out of timeouts. Rosenbrock on the option right. Pitches it last second. The ball is loose. Elliot Rivas trying to fall on it. Rosenbrock falls on it instead at the 34-yard line. Beatniggers are going to have to get up to the line of scrimmage and spike it very quickly. We're down to 6 seconds to go. They're not going to get a play off, and that will result in a loss of 1. That's the end of the opening half with the score. Brush 8, Fort Morgan 7 on 1010 KSLR and KSLR.com. From Legion Field, with Brush leading 8-7. Toby McBride with a 3-yard run in the opening quarter for the Mustangs. And the Beatniggers got a 51-yard punt return by Randy Baker in the second quarter. 2-point conversion pass was good from Kyle Rosenbrock to Jake Brown. And Omar Fierro will kick it off for the Beatniggers here to begin the second half. About 15 minutes before the game, it looked like it was a very light Brush contingent, but it is jam-packed on that side now, and it's been jam-packed since the opening kickoff.
It's jam-packed over here on this side as well. Remember that huge game we had last year in Brush? They guessed like about 3,000 people, I think.
Yeah, and you're not exaggerating either. It was about 3,000 people. Well, I think people waited until kickoff to get here, Dave, because it was so hot. I mean, by 6 o'clock, the temperatures were still in the 90s. Now we're in the upper 70s, mid to upper 70s, so it's a very pleasant Friday night in Fort Morgan. Back deep to receive, Elliot Wunsch, flanked by Kyle Daniels. And we're just still waiting for the resetting of the clock before we begin the second half. It's a big, big game for the Mustangs here because if they lose the game, they've got to win those non-conference games to make the playoffs unless they win the Colorado 7 League. And 1 year ago, they were 7-3 and finished in second place. Whereas the Beatniggers finished in third place last year in the Patriot League and made the playoffs. It's all based on competition. You mentioned, Dave, the seeding criteria, and plays a big role. You've got to play some solid competition and beat solid competition. Wins only matter if you win your league. Well, without the solid competition in your league, the wins then take care of themselves, obviously. All right, Omar Fierro debuted for Brush to begin the third quarter. The Beatniggers' lone touchdown came on special teams.
Finally got the clock reset, so I think we're ready to go.
So Fierro to boot the football for Brush. Low line drive towards the sideline. Fielded at the 23, bobbled over there along the sideline to the 30 to the 33. Mikey Gutierrez makes the play. That was one of the up men who caught the football for Fort Morgan. It might have been Isaiah Lopez. First and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 33-yard line. They really struggled on offense after scoring in the opening drive. They wouldn't surprise me if they tried some gimmick play, something to try to get the Beatnigger defense completely off balance.
Well, they're a team that always plays with a lot of motion, and they like to get that momentum going in their favor.
First and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 33-yard line. Lining up on that right hash mark, the quarterback Joey Schneider with 2 in the backfield. Going to hand it off right up the middle to Jared Bone. Nice gain across the 35 to the 38. Kyle Rosenbrock in on the tackle, but that's a solid gain of 5 yards for the senior Bone.
So Morgan comes out with an unbalanced line look. Real huge power formation. The Diggers weren't sitting there with 4 guys up on the defensive line. They brought up a couple more helpers too, so all of a sudden we were in a 6 front. The Diggers have made an adjustment with that defensive line when they're in that power formation. We're back in that 5 front now.
Second down and 5 from the 38-yard line. Schneider has the football, hands it up, right up the middle. That's a nice gainer. This is Toby McBride right through the middle of the line. He's got a first down to the 44. It's a gain of 6, nothing but muscle for Toby McBride, as the Beat-Diggers were tackling a little bit too high. There were 3 Beat-Digger defenders in on the play, and Fort Morgan needed just 2 plays to pick up a first down here in the third quarter.
Yeah, he hit the nail on the head. Just jumping on his back. Just too strong to bring down like that.
Stop, shop, and save on all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. Brush Grocery Card. You can also pay your public service bill and access Western Union, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. First and 10 for Fort Morgan at the 44. The handoff to Bone, running right, stutter stepping, and then he breaks a tackle. Kyle Rosenbrock had him, but couldn't bring him down. And then he motors his way to about the 48-yard line. That could have been a 1-yard loss. And instead, that turns into a 4-yard gain. Second down and 6.
Yep, Kyle had him about on the line of scrimmage and had his right arm kind of wrapped around his ankle, but his feet flopped from underneath of him, and he left his feet. That's what enabled him to break the tackle and surge ahead.
Second and 6 for the Mustangs at their own 48-yard line, trailing Brush 8-7 early on in the third quarter. Schneider's going to hand it off to McBride, running right, and again he pulls his way across the 50 to the 49. Maybe got the 48, a strong run by McBride. Gain of about 3, and the tackle is made by Joe Carwin. Third and 3 to go for Fort Morgan.
The battle is really being won by the Mustangs on the line of scrimmage right now, with Digger defensive lines on roller skates. That's what makes it kind of hard for those linebackers to fly up and make tackles.
Third down and 3. With a football at the 49 of Brush. Wes Anderson's the receiver to the right, but more than likely this will be another running play with only 3 yards to amass. On the Brush side of the field, and the Beat-Diggers jumped. On the right side, looked like Jose Rodriguez came across the line of scrimmage. And that'll be a first down for Fort Morgan on the encroachment penalty against the Beat-Diggers.
Yep, when you're up there on that defensive line, you can't be listening to the quarterback call that snap. I think that's what happened there. Fort Morgan was able to lull our defensive line to sleep and get us thinking it's on 1 every time. That time they had a good play and went on 2 and caught us.
No, it turned into a 4-yard encroachment because that ball's at the 48. Now it's at the 44, but the Beat-Diggers will take it. With 9:17 to go in the third, Brush 8, Fort Morgan 7. First and 10 for the Mustang for the Beat-Digger 44. Schneider hands it off to McBride running left. Breaks out of a tackle inside the 40 to the 39. And then he squeezes his way to the 38. Jose Rodriguez makes the tackle. Beat-Diggers had the penetration, but fundamentally they are lacking here on this drive with their tackling.
Yeah, again, our linebacker on this side flew up there. He made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. If he would have hit him down around the ankles, McBride may not have gone down, but it would have given him enough time to get some more Digger help over there to make the tackle. Instead, he tried to tackle him up on his shoulder pads, and McBride just ran right over the top of him.
Second down and 4 for Fort Morgan at the Beat-Digger 38-yard line. Yeah, I don't anticipate a pass. Schneider hands it off to Bohm right up the middle, and he pulls his way across the 35. Looks like he's got a first down at the 33. The gain of 5 for Jared Bohm. This is 3, 4, 5 yards in a cloud of dust. Very simple football that the Mustangs are executing here to begin the second half.
Yeah, they're just blowing us off that line of scrimmage, and we have that 5-man front up there to try to match up with their offensive linemen, but they're just shoving us backwards right now.
First and 10 at the Beat-Digger 33. We talked about a turnover at halftime. The Beat-Diggers are going to need one right now because they're unable to neutralize this Fort Morgan running game. On first down, Schneider is going to hand it off the ball right side. Cut it back to the 30. Still on his feet. Inside the 30 to the 26. Rosenbrock had penetration. Couldn't bring him down. And it's a gain of 7 for Jared Bohm. 2nd down and 3. And if the Beatniggers don't do something here shortly, Dave, they're going to have to take a chance on defense, whether it be a blitz or something else, to try and make a play because they can't stop them straight up.
Yeah, I see they're rotating some guys in, trying to give some guys a breather.
2nd down and 3 to go. At the Beatnicker 26-yard line, the Mustangs are threatening to reclaim the lead. Hand off the Bohm right side. He's going to be held up and thrown down after a gain of 1. And it looked like Alec Peterson got over there, and he brought him down by the jersey. 3rd down and 2. That's not an easy play to make on Bohm. Was very strong with the upper body.
Yeah, and fast. But like you said, Fort Morgan's just keeping it simple, and they're just running right at us.
So it is 3rd down and 2, and this drive is chewed up. 5 minutes. We're inside of 7 minutes, a quick-moving third quarter. On 3rd and 2, still very favorable for Fort Morgan. At the Beatnicker 25. Schneider hands it off to McBride up the middle, and he's breaking a tackle to the 10 and the 5. Is he into the end zone? Yes! McBride was momentarily stopped and kept going. Right up the gut. 25 yards for Toby McBride. And the Mustangs have reclaimed the lead. It's Fort Morgan leading now by a score of 13-8.
Yeah, our defensive line's just getting blown out. The Fort Morgan offensive line isn't that big, but they're lining up every single time with double tight, and they're just wedge blocking and just driving us backwards. McBride's so powerful. If you try to arm tackle him, he's not going down. You're going to have to wrap up around his leg.
Extra point by Gonzalez is up and good. We've got 6:39 to go, third quarter. Fort Morgan 14, Brush 8 on 1010 KSIR, KSIR.com. Well, a masterful drive, 9 plays, 67 yards in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Toby McBride with a 25-yard run. And the lead for Fort Morgan is 14-8. Now the Beatniggers are going to have to counter after, as Dave mentioned, they controlled the line of scrimmage on that particular drive.
You know, I'm kind of glad that they scored on that huge run there at the end because it seemed inevitable. I was getting tired of seeing it happen 3 yards at a time. I'm glad they just scored so we can get the ball back so we can score again.
Well, you're right about that because it didn't seem that Brush had an answer at all. Mustangs trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in this series. Rosenbrock has it at the 5, running to the 10, to his left to the 15, to 20, has his team across the 25, and he's down at the 26-yard line. Richard Herrera made the tackle for Fort Morgan. So now the Beatniggers have got to counter. A return of, well, we'll call it 22 yards, that ball at the 27 for the Beatniggers.
We have the whole game to score this touchdown, so we just got to be patient.
Well, Dave, the Beatniggers are in a fight right now. There's no question about it. It'd be a nice backbreaker if they could score here on just 2 or 3 plays. They have the big playability.
Mustangs were late getting a guy out onto the field. Then the official on this side blew the whistle, and I wasn't sure what the deal was. But then I noticed that they looked clear across the field and saw that the flag wasn't set up downfield far enough. So they readjusted where the markers are.
1st and 10 for the Beatniggers at their own 27-yard line. Rosenbrock is going to hand it off on the left side for a gain of about 3. They had 3 in the backfield there. Mikey Gutierrez, the junior. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 yards to go. Around the football there was Eric Flukoff, the junior defensive back. The Beatniggers are going to have to be patient on this drive. If they can't come up with a big play, do exactly what Fort Morgan did. Fort Morgan didn't have any huge plays except the touchdown. 2nd down and 7 to go for the 30-yard line. The Mustangs are in the lead by a score of 14-8. Rosenbrock will hand it off, and breaking a tackle along the left side and close to a 1st down is Randy Baker. to about the 38-yard line. Should be a first down. If he gets to the 38, it will be. So for Baker, that's a gain of 8.
That was more of that 20 series look where we kind of take the handoff to our fullback up the middle and then catch our fullback, our halfback up the middle and catch our fullback off tackle on the outside. Caught the Mustangs blitzing a little bit, not reading.
Guzman is the receiver to the left. To the right, it's Brown. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 38-yard line. There's the give to Baker, running left across the 40. Back to the middle to the 50. Baker across the 45 to the 40. Then he's brought down at the 38-yard line. Another big run from Randy Baker. 138 to the other, a gain of 24, and another Brush Beat Digger first down.
57 yards now for Baker on 7 carries. Like you said, he just took off running. The Mustangs are getting so much penetration with their defensive line. They were clear upfield on us, and Baker just ran right by him.
The Beat Diggers trying to counter Toby McBride's second touchdown of the game. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the third, and Brush trails by 6. Week number 2 of the 2013 season. On 1st and 10 for the Mustang 38-yard line. Blitz coming, handoff right side to Gutierrez, and he bulls his way inside the 35 to about the 34. Richard Herrera made the tackle. There's a flag down in the Mustang secondary. You would think that's got to be against the defense when they throw in the secondary. This could be 4 yards for Gutierrez and then tack on some more. Personal foul. I didn't see where that came from, but it's against Fort Morgan. This football should be placed to the 19 or checked at the 19. And that's where the ball's going to be. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers, Dave. This is the 4th time now the Beat Diggers are in the red zone. They were 0 for 3 in the opening half.
I don't know what that call was. Usually you'll see the coaches talking to somebody that did something that was, flagrant sort of misconduct play. And, I don't think the coaches knew what happened.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Rosenbrock is going to hand it off to Baker. Slips out of a tackle, still on his feet. And he drives to the 16. There's another late flag. And it was thrown at the end of the play. Around the football for Fort Morgan was Jared Bohm. Going to pick up only 2 yards. Well, did they give him the 16? Yeah, 3 yards to the 16. But now let's see what happened at the end of the play. Remember, Fort Morgan last week, Dave, had 3 15-yard penalties on the same drive, and now they're doing this again. That's 3 yards for Baker and a personal foul. That ball should be placed at about the 8, half the distance to the goal. And it'll be first down for Brush. And let me tell you, Harrison Chisholm has got to be extremely irate over that lack of discipline. Because, again, 3 15-yard penalties on nearly a game-winning drive for Berthoud in the 4th quarter. And now they've had 2 huge penalties here as the Beat Diggers are inside the 10.
Got to be a cheap shot or maybe somebody saying something out there that's causing that. Because if it was a face mask, they would signal that.
1st and goal for Brush at the 8-yard line. Rosenbrock hands it off to Baker, left side of the 5-yard line, still driving inside the 5. Then he's driven back by Ure Ocañas and a couple of other Mustangs inside the 5 to the 3. 2nd and goal after the pickup of 5 for Randy Baker.
So 65 yards now for Baker on 9 carries. But that's just peculiar. You don't see those kind of penalties back-to-back like that very often. We'll take them. Tell you what, we need it.
The Beat Diggers can tie the game with a touchdown, and then they would either kick the extra point or go for 2 to claim the lead. 2nd down and goal from the 3. Rosenbrock turns, hands it off to Baker, left side, and he walks into the end zone for Randy Baker. And the game is deadlocked at 14.
69 yards for Baker on 10 carries. The Diggers had a lot of luck running to the left side last week. They're doing it again today, running over there behind Seawald and Carwin and Grant. Tell you what, the plays are just happening over on that side of the field. Plus that, it's over on the Diggers sideline where only the Diggers team can see what's going on. It's really hard for the Mustangs over here. They got a crown on this field. Seems about 5 yards high, so it's hard for these guys to look over there and see what's going on.
Well, the Beat Diggers will go for 2 again. Rosenbrock under center. is going to pitch it left. The ball is on the ground to Mikey Gutierrez, and the Mustangs fall on it. Justin Wogenberg at the 7, and the 2-point conversion is no good. 3:25 to go, third quarter. Brush 14, Fort Morgan 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Well, the Beat Diggers have countered a 7-play, 73-yard drive in 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Randy Baker scores for the second time in the game. However, 2-point conversion is no good. And the Beat Diggers are tied here in the third quarter, 3:25 to go, with the Fort Morgan Mustangs at 14. Fierro to kick it off. Line drive. It'll be fielded by Daniels at the 13, straight ahead to the 20. He's got a seam across the 30, and he's down to the 33, a return of close to 20 yards. Arnoldo Matos Garcia made the tackle for Brush.
Well, the Diggers are going to have to assert themselves on defense now and try to shut down this running game of Fort Morgan. Again, last drive, they didn't do anything fancy. It would just be a dive up the middle and then maybe a sweep around the outside. But, just not a lot of crossbuck action, not a lot of trickery, just that offensive line firing off and shoving the ball down our throat.
The official mark is going to be the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Schneider will hand it off right up the gut, and that's a good gain. Again, high tackling. And that looks like it's foam. Now we're going to lay flag. The gain. Was that Bohm there? That might have been a secondary back. Check that. Cody Birch with a gain of 5, but then a late flag, and this one looks like it might go against Fort Morgan again.
Yeah, I saw the kid, the Gherkin boy, just gave the Brush kid a big push after the kid was trying to get up off the ground and the play was over.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Chisholm runs a very good program, and he's got to be irate at this. Because that's something that cannot be tolerated. That football's back at the 23. So give Birch the 5-yard gain, but then the penalty went all the way back to the 28-yard line. So now it's first down. First down and 16, or check that at the 23, 1st and 20. There's the pitch left. And then down after a yard, Kyle Rosenbrock just brings down the ball carrier. And that time, let's see, that's another one who came in there. That's Jose Padua. He picked up a yard day to the 23. So essentially now we're looking, or maybe half a yard. It's still 2nd down and 20 to go. They've got 3rd on the board, and I wonder if it was after the play. So they must have counted that as a play. Now we are sitting at 3rd and 20, so officially nothing for Balboa, as we've got 2:13 to go, third quarter. Brush 14, Fort Morgan 14. Passing situation, 2 receivers out to the left. 1 to the right. Schneider back to throw, looking, setting, throwing deep over the middle. Intercepted by Nico Guzman at the 48-yard line. He was just waiting for that football, landed right in his hands as he was tackled by Kyle Daniels, and the Beat Diggers come up with their 2nd interception of the game.
That's beautiful. It was more like a punt, really. I think that's where we would have got it if they would have had a punt for football, but we'll take it. And I think you're right about the Digger defense making some adjustments. That whole series, they were back into that 4-man front like they were running in the first half. They started the second half doing a 5-3 look. Now they're back into that 4-3 and having a little bit more success stopping the run.
I got to tell you, Dave, it's just a shame that the Mustangs have become so undisciplined here in the third quarter because they're killing themselves with penalties. 1st and 10 for Brush. That's an old 46-yard line. And now the Beat Diggers call a timeout, and Randy Dreitz is not happy about something. That timeout brought to you by State Farm Insurance and the office of Greg Mullen. State Farm Insurance in Brush. Home Auto Life Health, State Farm Insurance, there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. The first touchdown of the game came from Randy Baker. That was a 51-yard punt return. That score brought to you by MMI International. Before your next mixer or feeder truck purchase, compare the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service. They continually outperform their competitors, hands down. That's MMI International, 842-5161. Pretty easy number to remember. I think Thrush High School is 842-5171. MMI, 842-5161. So the Beat Diggers have the football. First and 10. It was at the 46 seconds ago. Now it's at the 47. I think they just respotted that football. Brush has led very briefly in this game. It was an 8-7 lead at halftime, but they scored late in the first half. On Baker's 51-yard punt return, up to the line of scrimmage. Rosenbrock is going to hand it off on the counter, right side. Gutierrez breaks the tackle, still on his feet, and is brought down at the 45-yard line of the Mustangs. Jared Bohm had a big hit, but not before a gain of 8 yards for Mikey Gutierrez.
Yep, some good block. He got a good block from Joe Carwin on that play that sprung it open.
Hey, the Mustangs battled a year ago. They had the lead. Beat Diggers came up with a big second half and won 31-19, and this is somewhat similar. Differences. Last year, Fort Morgan had the special teams touchdown. This year, the Beat Diggers had the special teams touchdown. Second down and 2 from the 45-yard line. Rosenbrock hands it off up the middle. Gutierrez fighting for yardage. Jared Bohm trying to strip the football. Very close to the first down marker. Richard Herrera makes the tackle. He's right at the stick. They might have to measure. This football looks like it's just shy of the 43-yard line. Yeah, they're going to have to measure that. With 1:10 to go, they'll bring out the sticks. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session that will get you on the right track and find out what options are available to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal with Morgan Community College. Right, if he doesn't have the first down, it'll be shy by inches. They stretch the sticks. Yep. Yeah, Dave, I'd say 6 inches. Yep, or maybe closer to a foot. So we'll say a gain of close to 2 for Gutierrez. But it'll be third down, just shy of the 43-yard line. And this really opens up the playbook, although they could keep it simple and just run the football.
Yeah, goose and go, or, better yet, the way Fort Morgan's blitzing, might be a good time to go on a long count. Just pick up that first down with the penalty.
The ball just shy of the 43-yard line. The game is deadlocked at 14 as the clock restarts. On third down, Rosenbrock. Oh, and the flag goes down. I think there was movement along the Beat Digger offensive line. And there was.
Looked like we left a little bit early.
That's a procedure. Now it's 3rd and 5. And a long 5 at that. Ball at the 48. They've got to get to the 43. And Dave, I know Coach Drice, this is 4-down territory unless they take a huge loss.
Yeah, he likes to go for it inside that 50.
Well, he might go to the fourth quarter. Deadlocked at 14. It is 3rd down and 5 to go for Brush. At the Fort Morgan 48-yard line. Handoff to Baker, running it wide to the left. Cuts it back to the inside. First down across the 45 towards the 42, maybe the 41. Big run for Randy Baker. And it's a gain of 7 for the Beat Diggers and Randy Baker.
75 yards on 11 carries now. And tell you what, he did that on his own. They ran that off tackle over to the left side. Man, parallel to the line of scrimmage, and planted his left foot, turned it upfield. Diggers did a good job blocking over there. Seawald and Keelan Brandt, making sure they had everybody sealed off.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the 41-yard line of Fort Morgan. They're coming on a blitz. There's the handoff up the left side to Baker, and he's across the 40. The ball is fumbled, and the Mustangs have it. He was hit at the 37-yard line. Fort Morgan recovers at about the 38. And it looked like that ball was recovered by Eric Kimball. And the Beat Diggers commit their second turnover of the game. We're down to 20.6 seconds to go in the third. And the Mustangs with a football at their own 37-yard line.
I think Chase Klein might have been doing some blocking over there too. But that was the exact same play they ran the play before. Boy, it worked out great. Just the Mustangs are really flying in there trying to strip the football. The Diggers got to make sure they got two hands over the nose.
Well, the Mustangs have killed themselves with penalties in the third quarter. Very undisciplined after a very, very disciplined drive to begin the third quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Should be the final play of the quarter. Schneider will hand it off along the right side and bowling his way to the 40, maybe the 41, is the up man Toby McBride, and that is the end of the third quarter with the score. Brush 14, Fort Morgan 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Dave Urich. 14-14, Brush and Fort Morgan. As we head to the fourth, the Mustangs have the football. 2nd down and 7 to go, just past their own 40-yard line. Game has been obviously tight all the way. Toby McBride has 2 touchdowns for the Mustangs. Randy Baker has 2 for Brush. With the ball just past the 40-yard line on 2nd down and 7. Joey Schneider is going to hand it off on the right side to Bohm. He's got a seam along the sideline, cuts it back to the 50, across the 50 to the 47. It's a gain of 13. The tackle was made by Jake Brown, but Jared Bohm picks up a Mustang first down.
91 yards now for Bohm. Just a little misdirection on that play. Make it over on this side. There wasn't any lead blockers. He just ran around the end and caught the Diggers off guard. Our linebacker on this side wasn't around.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Beat Digger 47-yard line. For the second straight year, a close matchup, although the Beat Diggers ran away and won by 12 last year after trailing at halftime. Schneider will hand it off on the left side. And McBride was tripped up in the backfield by Rosenbrock and then swarmed under by other Beat Diggers. Losing a yard to the 48, 2nd down and 11. And, yeah, there's no doubt McBride is hurt. He got hit low, Dave. But he's getting up. He's getting up, and, he wants to stay on the field. That kid is tough. Harrison Chisholm came out now. Does he have to leave for a play? He'll have to leave for a play because time was called. And he came out. Yeah, it must have just stung him for a second, Dave.
It probably takes your wind out from underneath you when a guy flies down there and tackles you below the knees. But that was a good example of what the Diggers need to pay attention to. That we need a lot more of that.
2nd down and 11 to go for the Mustangs at the Beat Digger 48-yard line. Rush 14, Fort Morgan 14. Early in the fourth. One receiver to the right. That's Wes Anderson on 2nd down. Schneider will hand it off right up the middle. And a pretty decent gain. That is Baldoa across the 45 to the 43. Actually gained 5 yards. 3rd down and 6 to go.
That was more of a quick hitter. Some of their handoffs, they're a little slower developing. But that time, boy, they handed it off and he hit the hole fast.
Again, Anderson, the lone receiver to the right. 4th down and 6. Check it. 3rd and 6 for the 43. Handoff left side, Baldoa, and he tried to spin out of a tackle. Randy Baker got him first, and he did not get back to the line of scrimmage as his knee went down at the 44-yard line, a 1-yard loss. And now it is 4th and 7 for the 44. I'm surprised they haven't tried to execute the passing game at all. At least they're on a 3rd and long. Now head coach Harrison Chisholm wants to play the field position battle. And last year when it was a 24-19 Brush lead, he had a 4th and 1 and punted the ball away. The Beat Diggers took the ball down the field and won the game by 12 points. But this is not a 4th and 1. This is a 4th and 7.
And we're going to be going against a little bit stronger wind.
Tony Zwedzig to punt. Beat Diggers got to make sure that the ball is actually punted away, and Zwedzig gets it off. That's a gorgeous punt that should land in the end zone, and it does. And, boy, we got some activity over there, some contact at about the 37-yard line between Beat Diggers and Mustangs. 2 flags are thrown. This could be a crucial call.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. It's going to be another one of those unsportsmanlike, so.
Holding against Brush. Oh. That ball's going to be back at the 10, I would think, David. From the 20-yard line, right? with 9:36 to go, deadlocked at 14. So that is a big call against the Beet Diggers because they just committed a turnover on their last drive when Randy Baker fumbled the ball. So this will be it coming up for the Beet Diggers. They could not make a mistake here. B&B Appliance carries a full line of in-stock and ready-to-be-delivered Whirlpool appliances. With the world moving towards more green energy, time for you to recycle the old and get in with the new. New appliances at B&B Appliance and Premier Farm Credit. Still the lender of choice for America's farmers and ranchers. They understand it and are passionate about agriculture, dedicated to serving America in good times and bad. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending. First and 10 for Brush at their own 10-yard line. Rosenbrock on the option right. Looks for a seam across the 15 to the 20. He's into the open field at the 40-yard line. To the 50. Rosenbrock to the 30. The 20, the 10. 30 yards. Touchdown for Rosenbrock. On one play, the Beet Diggers lead 20-14. And there's a Beet Digger down at the 27-yard line. Now, a Beet Digger took a shot along the right side at the 27, but Rosenbrock has just gone the distance, 90 yards. Now let's see what Brush does if they attempt an extra point. But there's a Beet Digger down at the 27-yard line, and that's on their own side of the field.
Not sure who it is, but it's one of our big guys.
Yeah, but getting up, and that's Jose Rodriguez. He just took a shot. Probably got blindsided. He's okay.
I know the Fort Morgan coaches were trying to get a clipping call out of that. They were letting one of the officials have it out here, talking about a block in the back, but I sure didn't see it. I just saw Rosenbrock get past that initial search that the Fort Morgan defense had. There wasn't anybody else that could touch him.
Extra points will not be attempted. They'll go for two once again. I guess the Beet Diggers don't have a kicker tonight. Gutierrez and Baker in the backfield. This is a very big two-point conversion because if they miss it, all Fort Morgan has to do is score a touchdown and kick an extra point to reclaim the lead. And the Beet Diggers, we're going to have a late addition of Nico Guzman. They might have to take a timeout. Nope, they're going to run the play. Rosenbrock is going to hand it off on the left side to Baker. He should get it. He does. Inside the left pylon, Randy Baker scores. 9:21 to go, fourth quarter. Brush 22. Fort Morgan 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Daniels fields the kickoff at the 11, ran across the 25 to the 45, breaking tackles across the 40 to the 44, return of 33 yards for Kyle Daniels on the ensuing kickoff. Matos Garcia and Fierro made the tackle. 90-yard run by Kyle Rosenbrock. And now the Mustangs with the ball at their own 44-yard line with 9:14 to go in the game. Looking to counter the Brush touchdown.
Boy, the Mustangs hustled right up to the line of scrimmage. The officials had to hold them back, just keep them from snapping the ball before the Beet Diggers were ready.
First and 10 for the 44. Schneider is going to hand it off up the left side. Breaking a tackle is Bohm still on his feet across the 50 to the 48. That's a big play there. It's a gain of 8 for Jared Bohm. Looks like Chase Klein had him over there. Second down, and we'll call it about the long two.
99 yards for Bohm now.
Yeah, he's had a serviceable game. Second down, just shy of the 48 on the Beet Diggers side of the field. There's the give right up the middle, and that is Bohm, and that's very close to a first down. They might have to measure at the 46-yard line. Bevy of Beet Diggers in on the play, including Joe Carwin. Yeah, then they're going to bring out the sticks. It's very close to that first down.
You know, Morgan's just more than happy to stay in that double-tight formation and just keep pounding that football straight ahead. The Beet Diggers starting to shore up that line of scrimmage a little bit more and doing a better job than they did at the start of the half.
They will measure. Well, keep in mind that time is not yet a factor. Once it becomes a factor, then they'll have to open up the offense more, but they can still run the offense as they please at this point. It is a first down to the 46-yard line after the 2-yard run by Jared Bohm. They're 46 yards and a 2-point conversion away from tying the game. Brush 22, Fort Morgan 14 with 8:28 to go. On first down, the backs are split. Beatdiggers nearly jumped. Schneider will hand it off to Bohm, running right to the 45-yard line. Stutter steps, cuts it back to the inside. He's down at the 40. It's a gain of 6. Seawald was over there, so was Rosenbrock.
They just got to the corner on us. Our end got hooked a little bit there, and once he turned the corner, he's so fast. You know, he's going to pick up 4 or 5 yards in a hurry if you don't have somebody there to slow him down.
No doubt about it. That's what happened right there. Willow Coffee Tea and Smoothies open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday 7 to 4, 921 Edison Street in Brush. At Cheese Sweets Bakery, they offer cookies, muffins, and sweetbreads made fresh daily. Willow Coffee Tea and Smoothies, 2nd and 4 from the 40. Handoff right up the gut, and McBride is held up after a gain of 2 to the 38. That time some Beatdiggers went low. And getting up off the bottom of the pile for Brush, none other than Rosenbrock.
McBride never hit the
Wow. Yeah, but they gave him what? They gave him major forward momentum there. Gain of 3 to the 37. Didn't look like he got all the way to the 37. But now it's only a 3rd and 1. 4 down territory for the Mustangs.
Clay Shaver's in the game for the Beatdiggers, now playing the defensive end position on the left side.
We're under 7 minutes to go. The Beatdiggers lead by 8. 3rd and 1 for the 37. Schneider with a long count. Hands off the ball, run right. First down to the 35. Stutter steps, and it's down at the 31. Picks up another 6 yards. Nico Guzman got a piece of the ball carrier. And Bohm actually got to the 30, gain of 7 for Bohm.
115 yards now in the cloud of dust.
Yeah, they got plenty of time. 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at the Brush 30-yard line. A hard-fought battle here at Legion Field. The backs are split. And there's the give, and nearly a mishandle, and holding on to that football is Bohm. He nearly lost the ball. It's not a smooth exchange. Chase Klein, Mikey Gutierrez, and others to nail him at the line of scrimmage. How do they give Bohm a yard there? That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Come on.
It was crazy.
Well, they give him a yard to the 29.
Clay Shaver, young guy getting in the game there. That defensive end doing a good job of not giving up any ground.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore, too. 2nd down and 9 from the Beatdigger 29. The Beatdiggers in the lead 22-14. Follow us on Twitter, KSIR Sports. Schneider will hand it off to McBride. Right up the gut. He drives to about the 26. Gain of 3 for Toby McBride. And Joe Carwin makes the tackle. 3rd and 6 to go for Fort Morgan.
That time when he was running, his whole body was leaning forward. He's about a yard off the ground, running real low.
I don't think they've attempted a pass in this second half. We're down to 5:15 to go in the game. 3rd down and 6 to go for the Mustangs at the Beatdigger 26-yard line. This will be another give on the right side to Bohm. Stutter steps the first down inside the 20. He's still driving to the 15, and he's down at the 14. That big stutter step by Jared Bohm in the cutback, and he gains 12 yards in the play, and the drive continues for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, they're just doing a good job at pushing our linemen backwards enough to where they're getting blockers out onto our linebackers, and once they get into our linebacker space, we're just having a real hard time shedding those blocks in order to make the tackles.
Beatdiggers are in survival mode right now, although they do lead the game, but I think they've called a timeout, brought to you by State Farm Insurance and Greg Mullen. We'll keep it right here. 4:46 to go. Brush in a lead 22-14. I think that's smart football, Dave. You got to call defensive timeouts once in a while. And when you're getting beat at the line of scrimmage like the Beatdiggers are, they've run 8 plays the Mustangs have on this drive. And they've been successful with the majority of them. And they started this drive in the 44. So it's set up by a nice return by Kyle Daniels of 33 yards. But ever since then, they've taken the ball right down the field, and they are in the red zone. And unlike the Beat Diggers, who have not capitalized on their red zone opportunities, the Mustangs have. So really, this will be the first time, if the Beat Diggers stop them, that they would actually contain Fort Morgan in the red zone, because they couldn't on the other two opportunities.
Right. We do need this containment right here. I agree with you on that timeout, though. You see that in volleyball and all kinds of sports where sometimes the team's just got momentum going, and you just got to stop it somehow. Give your guys a chance to stop and think and look around, smell the air, and snap back to reality a little bit.
1st and 10. The Mustangs have the football at the Beat Digger 14-yard line. Fort Morgan trails Brush with 4:46 to go, 22-14. 2 touchdowns for Randy Baker, 1 from Kyle Rosenbrock. If you follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports, see all the updates right there. Hand off the ball, and he's hit at the point of attack by Kyle Rosenbrock right at the line of scrimmage as Rosenbrock lowered his shoulder and stuck it right into Jared Bohm's gut. And didn't look like he picked up anything. Mustang lineman slow to get up. 2nd down and 10 to go, just inside the Beat Digger 14.
So Bohm's at 129 yards now. Just some good running. But it's all tough running, between him and McBride. Nothing's come easy for those guys. Every one of their yards has been hard fought.
2nd down and 10 from the 14-yard line. Schneider with a long count. Hands it off on the right side. Bohm tries to stutter step again, but is going nowhere. A yard, that's it. Chase Blind held him right up there at the 13-yard line. 3rd down and 9 to go for the Mustangs. This will be the 11th play of the drive, and Dave, because that clock is running, they got possession of the football with 9:14 to go, and it's now down to 3:38. You don't score here, the Beat Diggers have the opportunity to run out the clock and win the game.
Yeah, this is critical for the Mustangs. Unless they went for a field goal and decided to play a little defense.
No. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
I just don't think they have the kind of offense that can score fast.
No. I mean, the Beat Diggers would have to collapse defensively. I think they're going to have to go for the touchdown and 2-point conversion. 3rd down and 9 for the Beat Digger 13. And a lineman jump for Fort Morgan. On the left side, they're going to be penalized back to the 18-yard line. Now that makes it a tougher situation. They'll have 3rd and 14 now. They've got to get to the 4. Head coach Harrison Chisholm certainly doesn't want to call a timeout here as Joe Ginther's also out there. The clock is running.
And we're going to dip under 3 minutes right now.
On 3rd down from the Beat Digger 18-yard line, with Brush leading 22-14. Kyle Rosenbrock's 90-yard run and the 2-point conversion run by Randy Baker. It's what's given them an 8-point lead, and now it looks like, is that an official's timeout? Or are they talking about when that play clock was going? I don't know. They did restart the game clock. Maybe there was an issue with the play clock. The game clock says 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the game. I think they might adjust the play clock. Yeah, the game clock will roll once again. 3rd and 14 for the 18. Maybe a passing situation for Fort Morgan. Schneider, play action, rolls to his right, got time, set, throws along the sideline, incomplete. Off the hands of Wes Anderson at the 8-yard line, through his hands, out of bounds. It's 4th down, and this could be the game for the Mustangs, the 12th play of the drive, with 2 minutes and 28 seconds to go.
Austin Cosman was open. He was kind of that pattern that was trailing Anderson, and he was a little bit deeper, as a matter of fact. They were able to see that. He would have been open right on the goal line.
4th down and 14 to go for the Beat Digger 18-yard line. And the Mustangs will go for it. This is the play of the game. Schneider, play action, rolls to his right. Pressure coming, sets, throws, incomplete. Through the hands of the intended receiver, Eric Kimball at the 13-yard line. If he makes that catch, Dave, I don't think he's going to get a 1st down anyway. because there were beat diggers right there waiting for him at about the 10. So it's first down for Brush. They take over on downs at their own 18-yard line. If they pick up a first down, maybe two, then they run out the clock and win the game.
Right on. That was a little bit of a poorly run pattern. The official was standing out there, and so their wide receiver ran right by the official and wasn't paying attention to where he was at. That caused him and the quarterback a little confusion.
Well, you know they're going to key on Rosenbrock here. First and 10 for the beat diggers at the 18-yard line. And watch out, they're going to try to strip any ball carrier. Hand off to Baker, running right to the 20-yard line along the right side to the 25. The gain of 7. Second down and 3. The initial hit from Isaiah Lopez. But that's way too many yards to allow if you're a Mustang defender.
Right. You know, they're trying to stop that run game in the middle, and so here they are gambling. And so they had those 6 down linemen with only one guy over there on the outside, so they're taking 5 guys out of the play because it just takes one blocker on our play side to crush that defensive guy down and prevent any pursuit from the backside.
Mustangs did call a timeout right there. Stop, shop, and save on all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. The Brush Grocery Cart. And accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night, when they do. Every second counts. As a level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center can handle any kind of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center, where expertise matters. Second down, we'll call it 4 for the beat diggers at their own 24-yard line. Dave, I don't think they took this team for granted. I just think Fort Morgan is, you mentioned, improved from last year. They're going to do very well.
Yeah, they are. They have a legitimate ground attack.
Oh, yeah, very good.
That offensive line of theirs really fires off. They control that line of scrimmage, and they're patient enough and confident in their defense that they can keep things close.
Second down and 4. They have to stop Brush here. At their own 24-yard line, Rosenbrock hands it off right up the middle. First down across the 35 is Gutierrez, spinning into the open field at the 50, and he's into Fort Morgan territory at the 47. A gain of 29 for Mikey Gutierrez and a Brush first down.
Just what a great run, just a dive play right up the middle. And again, we're getting back to that whole guessing thing with the way you line your defense up. You're going to put guys out of position and cost yourself if you're not blitzing the right hole, if you don't have your people lined up right.
Dave, Fort Morgan takes another timeout. I believe they only have one remaining. And the whole team is being called out to the field. You want to run your normal offense here for your Brush. I don't know if they're ready for the kneel down just yet. That's why I said you either get 1 or 2 first downs, and they've gotten 1 first down with 2:07 to go. And I know that Fort Morgan hates that term moral victory because they felt they could have won this game, and now it would take a huge beat digger mistake for them to get back on the scoreboard. But it looked like tough.
You got to give Fort Morgan credit. They played tough. They controlled that offense, or they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball for a good portion of the game, and they controlled the clock.
First and 10 for the beat diggers. The football's at the 47-yard line of the Mustangs. Brush 22, Fort Morgan 14 with 2:07 to go. All Brush has to do is really hang on to the football, and the Mustangs probably will not get it back. Gutierrez and Baker in the backfield. Rosenbrock will hand it off to Baker, breaks out of a tackle, and he's into the open at the 40-yard line, down at the 39. And I think that's a product of what you've been saying, Dave. They're trying to strip the football instead of make the tackle, and that resulted in an 8-yard gain, second down and 2. And the beat diggers, for some reason, are right up to the line of scrimmage, but maybe that's just a decoy, and they won't be snapping that football for a while. The clock continues to run. We're at 1:40 to go, and Kyle Rosenbrock will look at the official, and when he is counting down to 5 seconds, that's when he'll snap the football.
Yeah, it's a good strategy because it keeps the Mustangs from being able to send in the next defensive blitz call.
Rosenbrock with the option right is going to take off with the football. He's got a first down. He was the only grabbed around the face mask along the right sideline of the 10-5. Touchdown, Kyle Rosenbrock, 39 yards away. Let's see if it counts. It looked like it might have been a face mask. Oh, instead, a Beat Digger offensive lineman is not too happy about that one. And it looks like it's coming back. It looks like it's coming back, Dave.
Yeah. You know, I thought they were going to call Fort Morgan for like a horse collar sort of a tackle.
Right, that's what I saw. More of a horse collar than a face mask. Instead, it's a block in the back against Brush. We're down to 1:14 to go, so that keeps Fort Morgan somewhat in the game because now the penalty is going to be marked off. Beat Digger fans are booing across the way.
Well, you can hear it.
Yeah, and that's a long ways away from where we're at. But they've yet to mark off the penalty. Still showing 2nd and 2, but that's they just leaving it right there. It was 10 yards down the field. Well, that is odd. I thought the penalty was closer to the.
I thought it was right where the ball is now. To be honest, yeah, I really did.
Well, that'd be 10 for Rosenbrock, and then a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, gotta get a break.
So he gained 10 there. So it's still at 2nd and 2. But the clock is stopped with 1:14 to go. Just get a first down and fall down, and the clock will run out. From the 39. Rosenbrock bobbled the football, and now he's going to be hit in the backfield. And a timeout is called by Fort Morgan. He lost a yard back to the 40. He bobbled the snap. Dave, strange things happen in this court.
It sure does. You know, a fumble right there, especially when we have, you know, double-type formation and not a lot of backs in the backfield. It'd be easy to pick up a fumble and take off running if you're a Mustang.
3rd down and 3 for the Beat Diggers at the 40-yard line of Fort Morgan. We've got 1:10 to go in the game. What's going to happen here, Brush will run a play. If they don't get a first down, then they will call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock. That should get it down to about 30 seconds. And then we'll see what head coach Randy Grice decides to do after that. But they can make it academic if they pick up 3 yards and get the first down and put this game away. So decisions right now.
That's what makes it fun, though, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Baker and Gutierrez in the backfield. 3rd down and 3 to go for the Fort Morgan 40-yard line. Rush 22, Fort Morgan 14. Handoff up the middle of Baker. He's only got a yard as he dives to the 39. Toby McBride and Jared Bohm had a piece of the ball carrier.
91 yards now for Baker on 14 carries. But you're right, he just got tripped up there right at the line of scrimmage.
All right, they'll call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock. Like I said, this could take it down to close to 30 seconds. I think it's going to be closer to about 35, just guessing right now. Well, they haven't counted it off yet. So it might be at the 32nd. Now they count it off. And the Beat Diggers call a timeout with 32.2 seconds to go. Well, what do you do, Dave? Because
I'll tell you what,
I'll pick up the first down.
You know, snap, you know, any long snap at the high school level is scary.
Right, you go for it here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because Fort Morgan hasn't had a passing game really at all.
Yeah.
They would have to do some crazy double lateral if they get the ball back and get into the end zone with no timeouts in order to have a chance to tie the game with a 2-point conversion. So it's at the 39, 4th and 2 for the Beat Diggers in Fort Morgan territory.
Do you want to take a chance with almost any mesh, you know? I don't know if you hand it off or not. Maybe you just line up, you run that bootleg just to make sure you eliminate one more chance for a fumble or mishandle of the ball.
Yeah, I think you keep it in your best player's hands.
Yeah, let him run up.
Who knows?
Quarterback sneak.
Baker's had a good night. Gutierrez has had a big run here on this drive. You've got multiple weapons. 4th and 2 for Brush at the Mustang 39-yard line with 32.2 seconds to go. And Baker and Gutierrez are in that backfield. Rosenbrock takes the snap, hands it off on the right side, and a loss back to the 40. That's a loss of 1. And the ball carrier there was Mikey Gutierrez. Quick play. So now the Mustangs take over with 28.9 seconds to go at their own 40-yard line. Looks like the Jim Carrey movie, Dumb and Dumber. You're saying there's a chance. And they do have a very, very slight chance. They need an incomplete pass to stop the clock if they don't pick up a first down or something. Trips to the right on first down. Schneider back to throw, setting up. He'll leave it deep over the middle, incomplete. Nico Guzman was closer to the football than the intended receiver at the 25-yard line. Eric Kemble, second down and 10, and Schneider did have a 35-yard touchdown pass last week to Kemble.
Hey, he throws the ball very well.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the wind at his back. The Diggers just can't.
They've got to make the catch to see, and that's the best scenario if you don't pick up a first down is an incomplete pass. But I think the only chance they have here, catch the ball and then lateral it to somebody else. Catch it, lateral it to both. He's your best athlete out there.
Pass interference penalties.
Second and 10 for the 40. Trips to the right. Mustangs are on own side of the field. Schneider back to throw. Pressure coming. Sets up. He throws it deep on the left side. Wide open. And it's completed. Overthrown at the 10-yard line. Wide open was Eric Flughoff. Well, the Beetinger secondary broke down there completely, and that pass is on the money. It's a 60-yard touchdown, and they're to within 2. What a breakdown. Randy Dreitz is 5 steps out into the field, and now he's back across the line, third down. Hey, you got to play center field here, not shortstop, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Everybody at home, if you can imagine the Bronco game last year when Flacco threw that long pass.
Same
That's
thing.
exactly what happened.
Jacoby Jones and Raheem Moore was not there. Now we're down to 16.9 seconds to go. Third and 10 for the 40. Schneider back to pass again. Set. He's it deep up the left side, and Rivas is out there. He intercepts the ball. Intercepted by Eddie E. at the 19-yard line. And that time he was playing more like left field. Once again, Flughoff, the intended receiver, getting up limping. And the Beetniggers are going to win this game as they come up with a turnover with 9.9 seconds to go. That's what they should have done on the previous play.
Yep.
Well, David, it was a little bit scary out here.
It sure was. It was a good game, boy. I mean, it had everybody on the edge of their seat. If you look at the crowd here, well, other than their student section, there's a lot of people from Fort Morgan still around here, and the brush crowd is still over there as well. Stands are still packed.
Well, it's going to empty out quickly now. But a very entertaining football game tonight, no doubt about it. As the Beetniggers are going to come away with a hard-fought 22-14 victory, winning the game on Kyle Rosenbrock's 90-yard run early in the fourth. And that's too bad for Flughoff. He's getting up limping badly. In fact, he has to be assisted off the field. The Beetniggers will improve to 2-0. The game Fort Morgan certainly could have won. There were times that they looked like the better team. I don't think there's any question about that. But still another snap.
You know what was so impressive about Fort Morgan for me was just the fact, the way, you know, their offensive line isn't that big, but boy, they came out and they kind of pushed us around up there. They were able to just smash that ball at us with, like I said, not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of trickery, just a lot of get after it.
Rosenbrock takes a knee, and that's it. The Brush Beetniggers have won on the road against the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Final score, Brush 22, Fort Morgan 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urick back from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Welcome to the Beetnigger post-game show brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is the tough part nowadays, but when you hire Buildings by Design, You can trust you'll get the building you want, when you want it, at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design as the Beat Diggers win the game tonight over Fort Morgan by a score of 22-14. Mustangs scored in the opening quarter. A 7-play, 55-yard drive in over 2.5 minutes. Toby McBride with a 3-yard run. Extra point was good. Beat Diggers would counter much later on a 51-yard punt return by Randy Baker. And then the 2-point conversion pass from Rosenbrock to Jake Brown. And that made it 8-7 Brush. That was the halftime score. However, the Mustangs came out strong in the third quarter. To begin the quarter, that was a 9-play, 67-yard drive in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. McBride scored from 25 yards out. PAT was good. It was 14-8. Back came the Beat Diggers, starting at their own 27. 7 plays, 73 yards in 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Randy Baker scored from 3 yards away. 2-point conversion failed. It was tied at 14. After a Nico Guzman interception, Beat Diggers had a shot to take the lead, but the ball was fumbled away and recovered by Eric Kemble. As the game ventured to the fourth quarter, tied at 14, Fort Morgan got the football, picked up 1 first down, and then punted the ball back away to the Beat Diggers, who started at their own 10-yard line. And on the first play of the drive, Kyle Rosenbrock goes 90 yards. Randy Baker runs in the 2-point conversion. Beat Diggers win the game 22-14. A reminder, follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports. The crew working very hard back at the Northeast Colorado Broadcasting headquarters. We've already got audio highlights up there. Just go to Twitter, KSIR Sports. There's links up there for the audio highlights of tonight's big plays, especially the one that I just talked about, Rosenbrock's 90-yard run as Brush wins 22-14. Dave, let's run through the numbers.
You know, Brush had a decent offensive night when he had it all up. 377 yards total offense unofficially. Rosenbrock threw the ball for 36 yards. He completed 2. He went 2 for 8 with 1 interception. The 2 passes were completed to Jake Brown for 9 yards and Nico Guzman for 27 yards. He also ran the ball for 163 yards on 11 carries. Our running backs, Eddie Rivas had 5 carries for 16 yards. Randy Baker had 14 carries for 91 yards. And Mikey Gutierrez had 71 yards on 12 carries. And then the Diggers ended up with 51 offensive plays.
Balanced effort on offense, Dave, in terms of that running game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they really spread it around, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Rosenbrock, you take away that 90-yard run, and then it's really balanced out because that would put him in that 60-yard range. So,
well, and the
one
Mustangs
big play was all the difference.
Right, and the Mustangs started out like a house of fire in the first drive. Then they flattened out over the last part of the first quarter and into the second, but then they picked it up again in the third quarter and ended up with some decent numbers.
Right, they sure did. They ended up with 51 offensive plays as well, for 222 yards total offense. 27 of those were in the air. They went 2 for 12 with 2 interceptions, completing 2 passes, 1 to Eric Kimball for 9 yards, and then 1 to Austin Cosman for 18 yards. Their big ball carrier tonight was Jared Boehm, who had 130 yards on 23 carries. Toby McBride had 55 yards on 12 carries. Jose Fauda had 3 carries for 5 yards, and Birch had a carry for 5 yards. Snyder ended up, like I said, with 12 passes, but he didn't run the ball 1 time.
Yeah, and the passing game for Fort Morgan was virtually non-existent, and they had nothing going on with the passing game in the second half, Dave. And, of course, when they really only threw the ball was when, obviously, they were forced to on that last drive, and it didn't work out for them, and the Beat Diggers were able to win the game. But let me tell you, that second-to-last play was very scary. The Beat Digger defense, for some reason, fell asleep, and they got lucky. Because if not, that game could have been tied, and we could be in overtime right now.
Oh, you betcha the game could still be going on, and I guarantee Schneider's wishing if you'd have just put a little bit of air underneath that ball, just a little bit of air, no difference in the power, just change the trajectory just an inch. You know, that's going to be a completed pass, and like you said, he would have ran right into the end zone, so we might have got away with one there.
All right, so the Beat Diggers improved to 2-0, defeating the Fort Morgan Mustangs here at Legion Field 22-14, a game in which the Beat Diggers were behind for a good portion of the opening half, but took the lead at halftime, fell behind in the third quarter. Then the game was tied. Then the Beat Diggers took the lead for good on that 90-yard run. Just one play. That's all it takes sometimes, and that's what it took for the Beat Diggers to win this game 22-14 as we bring in the head coach of the Beat Diggers, Randy Dreiss. And I'm sure throughout the course of the game, Coach, that you were pretty concerned that this one could slip away because there were times after that opening drive that Fort Morgan took the ball down the field. your defense played pretty well, stopped the Fort Morgan game, but then that running game for Fort Morgan got going again in the third quarter. Were you surprised that they ran the football that well in the third quarter, took it down the field when it seemed that your team started to execute a lot better defensively after the opening drive of the game?
Yeah, going into halftime, we felt pretty comfortable with our defense. I thought we adjusted, but they came out at halftime and said, we're going to take it to you, and that's what they did. And so then we had to make adjustments again, and the adjustments Coach Creighton made was really good. They're a tough football team. They're physical, they're big, they're strong. Coach Harrison is doing a great job getting these kids playing hard. And, we watched film of their last week's game, and last week's game, I'm telling you, this is a different football team than what they played last week. They did a great job. So hats off to the Fort Morgan coaching staff. But, I'm still real proud of our kids, how hard they played and how they battled. I mean, we had guys playing both sides of the football a lot and hardly got off the field and just battled and showed a lot of guts and pride.
What was the feeling at halftime, Coach, psychologically, knowing you had a 1-point lead, but you had the ball 3 times inside the red zone, opportunities to score? Jake Brown dropped a touchdown, and he was very mad at himself because he knows he's capable of making that catch rather easily. And, again, you had the lead, but I'm sure you felt by that point, heck, you could have been up by a lot more, but at the very least, you did have a 1-point advantage.
Yeah, we felt comfortable. Our first series wasn't real good. We were maybe getting a little fancy, but, we were moving the ball on them and doing a good job, and we had some breakdowns here and there, and I tell you what, one breakdown here and there, it just kills a drive, and so we got to shore things up and get better as a football team, and really work on some things in practice, and shoring those things up and eliminating I call them the dumb penalties, and those that will be huge for us if we can do that.
Is it just the word consistency at this point? Because there were times your team looked great on certain plays, and then others where it just wasn't going for you. Because I thought it was a little bit of an odd game from a standpoint that at the time Fort Morgan was dominating the line of scrimmage, then Brush dominated the line of scrimmage, then Fort Morgan dominated the line of scrimmage, then Brush eventually made the big play to win the game in the end.
Well, most definitely. It's consistency, like you said, whether it's being because we're tired and you're playing in this heat and have practice all week, you can only work them so hard because it's so hot and it's conditioning. It's still early in the season, so I'm sure hoping that we get some cooler weather coming in and that will help. But, really no excuses. We've just got to execute every play, every down and a lot better than what we're doing and be more consistent.
Well, in the 2-point conversions, you were 2 for 3. Obviously, that was the option that you had to go with tonight. But what about this 90-yard run by Rosenbrock? Obviously, you have to have some blocking there. It just demonstrates the explosiveness of this athlete. He's a tremendous athlete. But talk about that play and how he got out in the open there and took it from basically one end of the football field to the other.
Well, Kyle's a great runner, but he had some good blocks in front of him. Touchdown called back with some great blocks. I didn't see the penalty that they called on us. Had a face mask on them, of course. We'll watch film and see, but you give him a step or two, and he's got great speed, and not only that, he's tough to bring down when you do hit him. And so we've got to make sure that we get some blocks for him, and he's very explosive and going to be a very good football player.
And finally, you mentioned last week, Eaton, who you take on next Friday. They've got 2 weeks to prepare for you, so I'm sure you're going straight to the chalkboard or whatever the terminology is now, knowing that this team won a big game. Their first game of the season got routed by Roosevelt. And when you get a team like that, Randy, as you well know, they're going to be very hungry to beat Brush because they're very disappointed at the last game they played last Friday night.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was kind of wishing that Eaton would have won last week, and they're going to go back to the drawing board. And we watched them play their first game, and they were 2 platooning, and nobody played both sides of the ball. And I'm sure that might change when they play us. But after last week's game, who knows? But if they're 2 platooning, and I've seen them do that before in the past, and then when they seem to play us, then they're not doing that as much. The guys are playing both ways more often. But, we'll see what happens. We're going to go back to the drawing board and get better.
Randy, congratulations on a big victory. It wasn't easy tonight. I'm
No,
sure it was
wasn't.
tough, but you got it done.
Yeah, we got some sore football players, and it's going to be they'll have a good weekend, but hopefully, we can recover. And we had big sickness this week, and I hope that sickness can stay away, and we have a great week of practice, because now is really when it counts. And, it's nice to win against the non-league opponents and everything, but now's when it really counts. It really matters. And I always worry about that emotional high that you get up, and you try to tame it down when you're playing Fort Morgan, and tell them, you can't get so high, and I don't want them to spell out here and not have very much for eating, because that's a more important game for us as far as the playoffs are concerned.
Thanks, as always, to Brush Head football coach Randy Dreitz as the Beat Diggers defeat the Fort Morgan Mustangs tonight, 22-14, a very hard-fought victory in Fort Morgan, as Coach mentioned will be in Eaton next Friday night. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Beat Digger Blastoff preseason at 6 o'clock. Game replay to follow right here on 1010 as well as KSIR.com. Already plenty of audio highlights. Following us on Twitter at KSIR Sports. You can download those links immediately and get the audio highlights of tonight's 8-point victory. Outstanding job, as always, by our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condas, our replay engineer, Alan Lance, our coordinating producer out for 1 week, that is Brandy Ingersoll, of course, the boss man, Alec Creighton, Christy Creighton doing a tremendous job. We got a big team, not only on site, but at the station putting this together. And of course, my color analyst, Dave Urick. I'm John Beltran. The final score, once again tonight from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. The Brush Beat Diggers get the job done. They defeat the Fort Morgan Mustangs on a 90-yard run by Kyle Rosenbrock with 9:21 to go in the game. Brush 22, Fort Morgan 14, right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.